Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 87 of the Gaming Duo podcast, the podcast that brings you profound discussions on the latest gaming news. I'm joined by co-host Kelvin Malone and a very special guest. His channel is for all things gaming in general, with an original focus specifically on Super Smash Bros. Rumors, leaks, theories, and speculation. He also goes into game theories plus gaming rumors and also does general gaming news. Please welcome YouTuber PapaGenos.
Hey everybody!
Hello.
Thanks for inviting me on, you guys.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. This is awesome. I know Kelvin's a huge fan. He's been following you forever. And it's kind of like surreal to actually have you on, because I even before Kelvin was like, dude, like this guy, when we were into the Smash, it was just like, this guy knows what he's talking about. So we finally have you on, and there's definitely going to be some Smash discussion coming up at some point, right?
Yeah.
But
we've been through a journey, you and I, PapaGenos. You didn't know that, but we've been through a journey with Smash reveals and characters with having Steve, Minecraft Steve, and then we're having like Sora. Like Sora for us, if you didn't know, was like a huge deal for us.
Nice.
And I know you wanted good old good old Genos, but I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's all good.
The sacrifice had to be made for Sora to be in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about Sora, so like I'm not. It's weird. Like I really wanted Geno in Smash. Obviously, he got a Mii costume, so I'm happy about that at least. But so a lot of times people ask me, they're like, "Oh man, are you mad about Sora? Are you mad about Hero or Cloud?" I'm like, honestly, I really like Square like a lot. Like like I want Chrono as well. And people are sometimes like, "Well, you don't want Chrono because you want Geno," and I'm like, I kind of would be cool with either. Like, if they could have 10 spots for Square, I'd probably be happy with that. So, and I know Sora's kind of Disney and not really Square, but obviously Kingdom Hearts is Square. So, there was a rivalry. I get the rivalry.
Well,
it was a ride for sure.
Gonna talk more about all that and go in depth about you and your journey as a YouTuber. But before we get into any gaming news, Kelv, how was your week? I know you've been playing a shit ton of games. Like, tell me what's going on. What's new?
Yeah, I've been playing quite a few games now, man. I've been playing Multiversus a lot. I've been
65 hours?
putting in 65 hours into Multiversus. I don't know how the time just flew by, but here I am, 65 hours in. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII a little bit. The DLC, I've been playing that because I know you've been dying for me to play that for quite some time now. So I started that, which is really fun. I'm having a great time playing that. And besides that, I've been kind of dabbling here and there, again, using my Steam Deck because that is my go-to system right now. Just picking up as many games as I can. I beat Resident Evil 3, like you guys know. So it's been quite a journey right now. I've been playing tons of games and I'm just like enjoying them for the most part.
And Brandon, I'm gonna call it. Is it okay if I call you Brandon? Or do you like?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, for people out there that don't know, my real name is Brandon. So yeah, if that's more comfortable for you guys,
Spoiler
it's totally cool. Yeah, doesn't bother me calling Brandon.
So I'll probably mix up the two. I might call you Brandon and then PapaGenos, whatever. But
yeah, Papa Brandon, that's fine.
Yeah, Papa Brandon works.
Whatever.
I love it.
What have you been playing? Like, what's been on your list? Anything new and exciting this week for you?
So mostly Multiversus as well. That game totally has just enveloped me. And it has has a battle pass and it has dailies. That's something I really always wished Smash had. It would probably keep me playing a lot. I probably played the most Smash when I about 5 or so years ago worked at a retro gaming store. And I think Smash 4 was out at the time. We did weekly tournaments and stuff like that. So I was playing fairly often. But
that's so cool.
Kind of lost. I mean, I think we were talking about being in our 30s and stuff a little bit before this all started, before we did the podcast here. And you get a little older, you lose touch with some friends and stuff. It just became harder and harder, especially in the last couple of years. To get together with people and play Smash games. So, without something like a battle pass or dailies, I have played a lot less Smash over the last couple of years than I probably was doing back in the day when I just had a more friend group, to play it all the time. But Multiversus having that really has pulled me in. Besides Multiversus, though, I'm trying to think if there's any other game I really played too much. Oh, I got actually it's behind me right there. what is it? Limited run games. They do like the physical copies of games. I got the Zombies Ate My Neighbors for Switch, which is like an old Super NES game.
Dude, I love that game. I've mentioned it to Robert, and I don't think you knew anything.
I don't think I tried.
I
think you like said it to me, and I like forgot. I just didn't listen or something.
Dude, I played that way back in the day when I was like 8 years old, and I loved it, dude. I fucking loved it. But I wanted to try it out on the Switch. I just never got around to it.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite games. The Switch port is basically like just a port. Like it's pretty much just playing it. You know, if they added it to the NSO, it'd be pretty much the same as this game is. Sure. I think it actually came out like a year ago, but I wanted the physical copy because I don't know if you can see it behind me. It's got the 3D glasses and the squirt gun and stuff. So I was like, man, I got to get those collectibles. So I was just a big fan back in the day. So that came in like within the week. I think I got that, and so I played that a little bit on Switch. And that was the only other game besides Multiversus I played in the last like week, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just a quick question for you, man. Do you collect amiibos at all?
No.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Our audio listeners, behind PapaGenos right now is just a wall of like amiibos.
It's not even a corner. It's not even a shelf. It's a wall.
It's just a wall.
It is a wall.
Do you have every single one for like Super Smash?
So I have every single North American amiibo. Okay. At least one of them. I don't have. I think it was some of the early Monster Hunter ones were Japan exclusive, and I think Box Boy, which is like the most expensive, rarest amiibo, which I wish I had grabbed because I had a chance to one time at this con, and I was like, nah, I'll hold off on it. Now it's like, I don't know, a couple $100 or something. But yes, I have every single Smash amiibo. I actually have doubles of every single Smash amiibo. So that wall behind me, I got these cases. They're like clear cases. You put the amiibo in them, and they stack really well because they make them into like boxes. Right. So I stacked up that giant wall. So it's actually too thick though. There's like one behind. There's an amiibo behind that for every character, and I have all the Smash ones, and the rest of the North American ones I have at least one of. But the Smash ones I have doubles of, and then I think is it tomorrow, or is it the day after tomorrow? No, day after tomorrow, Friday. Steve and Alex comes out, so that's we're getting a new Smash amiibo, which we haven't gotten one in like.
In a while.
Min was like the spring. I think it was several months ago, whatever it was. Right, so yeah, it's been a while. So
do you know when amiibo is going to be impossible to get? I feel like Sora. When they dropped the Sora amiibo,
I was going to ask, when is my Sora amiibo coming out? Because I'm copping that day one. Day one.
That is a good question. Are we even going to get a Sora amiibo?
Fair.
We don't know. Personally, I feel like we probably will. But I think that they probably have not announced it yet, simply because I think they want people to have that fresh in their mind when they go out to buy that amiibo. And if Sakurai had dropped, hey, the Sora amiibo is happening, what was that? It's already been like a year almost. Like that was like last October that Sora got announced. If he had said that then, we're on Steve and Alex right now. I think they're going to want to do some fanfare for the Sora amiibo. So I imagine maybe like this coming E3 or something, they'll be like, oh, by the way, here's some Smash news. Sora amiibo's happening, and
we're like a year out from getting him, something like that, or longer.
They take a while.
Longer, man.
Yeah, it might even be longer than that. I mean, we're like I said, we're on Steve and Alex. We got to get through Sephiroth, Pyramithra, Kazuya, and then Sora.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, we haven't seen. I mean, we'll probably get. I'm sure we'll talk about this a bit later on here. We'll probably get a Nintendo Direct soon. That seems most people are guessing that. So maybe since Steve and Alex are coming out on Friday, if we get like a Nintendo Direct, let's say within the month, maybe next week, I imagine they might be like, oh, by the way, here's like the Sephiroth and Pyramithra amiibos, and show off what they look like. Like I could see that happening in that Direct.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought up Nintendo, because our first piece of news,
what a segue,
is we got a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer today. It dropped, and here's some juicy tidbits from that trailer. We got 3 new Pokemon were introduced. I'm going to butcher the names of these Pokemon. It's Armarouge, the Fire Warrior Pokemon, Ceruledge, the Fire Blades Pokemon, who looks badass as hell. He just looks sick. And Cloth, the Ambush Pokemon.
So I haven't seen this trailer, so I'm eager to like listen to what you're saying, but also watch the trailer at the same time. So go for it.
Right. So yeah. So you're watching the trailer right now in the background. Pokemon will actually travel with you by your side outside of the Pokeball, just like the other Pokemon games, like Pokemon Go had that, or Let's Go Pikachu. We also had Arceus did that. We caught a glimpse of Victory Road and some of the gym leaders you'll face. There will now be gym tests. So not only will you have to go through the gym leader, there's actually like in the trailer they show find these 5 some floor in the city, and that's like you have to do that before you actually fight the gym leader. So that was pretty interesting. Team Star will be the feature villain crew, and it's not like your normal Team Rocket. They're like students. They're just students, so it's kind of weird. And there was a new OLED Switch announced as well, a new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet themed one, and I think it's going to retail for about $360. So that was kind of like the gist of the trailer. Did you watch the trailer at all, Papa, before this, or this is the first time you're seeing it?
No, I watched it before this. I watched it this morning. I did a short little reaction video thing, but then also was like kind of looking up stuff on it throughout the day. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one because I liked Legends Arceus quite a bit, and this is also has that like open world element to actually. It seems like it's leaning more into the open world element, though also adding back in some mainline stuff. So it's going to probably be some sort of like in between Legends Arceus and mainline Pokemon game. But yeah, this trailer looks pretty cool to me. I'm still really itching to see what the evolutions for the starter Pokemon are, because that's usually how I make my choice. So something we get that today, we didn't. But I love that you mentioned him, Cerule something, the sword.
Ceruledge.
Yeah.
Ceruledge, yeah. He looks awesome.
He looks awesome, dude. Awesome.
Yeah,
I saw some of the pictures online, and he looks fantastic.
The other one looks cool too. The one with the cannons.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Amaraj?
Yeah. I feel like whatever. He's cool, but the other one just like stole the spotlight. They're just like that one is so much more cooler. Kelv, as you're watching this, what are you thinking so far? I want your real thoughts.
I'm loving the character designs. That's like my first reaction. I'm like, the character designs, I think they've done a really good job with a lot of the animations and just kind of giving a little bit more life to some of the characters, like the main characters in the game. I like the school kind of theme going on. Like obviously, like you were mentioning how Team Star is more so kind of like students in a way. And you seem like to be somewhat of a student. So it just kind of fits the vibe that it's going for, and I dig it. I think it's cool, and we're seeing the characters now, the Pokemon now. They look so cool, dude. Like they really do.
Look at this guy. Like he's insane looking.
Yeah,
he reminds me of Scizor, sort of like some kind of like evolution of him, or not evolution, but kind of like a brother or something, cousin.
Like like a different form of him or something like that, or evolution.
My favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is Scyther, and my brother's favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is Kabutops, and they both have like scythe arms.
Yep,
and then we got this guy with sword arms. It's like those Pokemon always look cool. Like when you do that, it's always cool.
Right.
So like after watching this trailer, does this make you more excited to pick up the game? Do you have more faith in the game's going to be great, or that they're doing a lot of stuff to entice you? Like they actually did enough to it to make it more like it's not just the same old Pokemon? Or like no matter what, you're going to get it no matter what, basically.
I'm pretty much in the same boat that I was a couple trailers ago, which was like pretty excited for the game. Honestly, the main thing that has me excited about this game was that I wasn't big on Sword and Shield. I'll just throw that out there, just being honest. I wasn't big on it.
Yeah, I agree too.
But I liked Legends Arceus. I liked Legends Arceus quite a bit. And so Legends Arceus kind of reinvigorated my faith in the Pokemon franchise. Like, hey, if they keep going this direction, I think I'll probably like Pokemon quite a bit. And, this one being open world and having these branching paths is sort of what they showed off in this trailer, that you can do the Path of the Legends or something like that, where that's the giant crab guy you're fighting, or you can do whatever the Team Star storyline is, or you can do the Victory Road path, which is like the gym leaders. And that is very much so an open world quest concept to have. You don't have to do this. You can do this instead, or you can do this. You have multiple things you can branch off and do, kind of make the adventure you want it to be. So I'm excited about this game because of pretty much what I was already excited about it, which was just the open world element to Pokemon, which I think is such a good direction for Pokemon to go in.
Yeah, I agree with you too when you said that the game is kind of going on with like the Legend of Arceus and also like the mainline games. I think it's kind of like a nice blend as well. I love the atmosphere that they're kind of going with. I love the character designs, like the Pokemon models, like everything so far. I think they're nailing it. And this might be one of my favorite Pokemon games yet, because it just it's just like checking off all the boxes right now, And I just love everything so far that I've seen. It's coming out soon. It's coming out. It's not too far off. So I'm like really excited. Like that's one of like my most anticipated games for this year for like this end year. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it actually comes out the day before my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday
so that's
to
what
you,
I'll get
man.
for birthday. Thank you. It's in November, but
well, I'll be sure to like message you, be like happy birthday.
Send me a message. Then.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out.
So are you doing Scarlet or Violet, Kelvin? Which one were you leaning towards?
I honestly,
do you not care? Do you not care?
We talked about this, and I think this is the first one where I'm just like, it doesn't matter to me. Like it's like either one. I think both Pokemon, both legendaries look dope as hell. I'll probably just go with Scarlet, maybe just because I don't know. It just kind of like I gravitate more towards the name. But honestly, anything else besides that, it's still like a win-win. Like I feel like you're getting great Pokemon. You're getting the legendaries look dope. I don't see which one. I'm getting sick and tired of. And we've talked about this in the past, but like with the whole differences of like either Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet. Like why don't you like stop with that? Like just make one single game, right? Pokemon Arceus was a perfect example. They did that and they did that well. Why split the fan base? Why do that all the time? I get it, money, sure. Exactly. But like if Arceus is anything to prove by, like they've done super well with Arceus and no one complained about it. If in fact everyone was like, this is the way you should do this. You know what I mean? Like obviously the game had its faults, but the fact that the game was just one unified game and you don't have to worry about getting another set of a full-fledged game just to play that, it tells you something.
Right. What about you, man? Are you gonna go for Scarlet or Violet? Which?
So I was probably gonna do Scarlet because I originally did Pokemon Red. That was the game that I chose, and then I did Ruby, and I usually go that direction. Obviously, it's not Red; it's Scarlet, but Scarlet Violet's basically Red Blue.
Right?
They're going for here. So I was probably gonna go Scarlet, but so far I love that. I can't think of it. Cerule Edge, is that it? The sword guy. Yeah, he's Violet exclusive. And then the out of the legendaries, I kind of like the Violet legendary better because I like that it's more like a real motorcycle. And the other one,
right?
Yeah, and I like that better for whatever reason. The look of that better. But I also have some friends who have also said, like, before the legendary came out and before this new guy just came out, they were like, I'm going to get Violet. So I was like, all right, I'll probably go Scarlet so we can trade and that's all good and stuff like that. So I don't mind too much. I mean, if I go Scarlet, as long as I can get that guy from my friend and trade, which I'm sure I'm going to be able to.
Right.
It doesn't make the biggest difference in the world to me, especially nowadays. Games are online and stuff too. Even if my friend isn't around for whatever reason, I don't want to get that Pokemon. I could probably go online and trade with somebody. Like it's not going to be a big deal. So yeah, I agree with you with maybe they should just drop the whole 2-game release thing. It makes the money, and they have the excuse of, well, that's how we've always done it. It's just the tradition. So I doubt they ever will. But Legend Arceus sold well despite only being one, version of it. So maybe someday they'll drop it, but I don't think they're apt to do that anytime soon just because it does make them money. So whatever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or at least add more things to the versions, like make them more different. Yeah. Like this one has a different story. This one has a different story. You can explore different places based on where you go or something, like give us a little more than just a different Pokemon, like 5 different Pokemon and like the legendary is different. That I think that would make it a little harder for people to choose.
It's so tough because it's like I semi agree with that because I want, like, I want a justifiable reason why I should buy both or why there is 2 versions. At the same time, I don't want to have them cut content out of this one and cut content out of that one.
That's a good point.
Splice them apart. And if it was, I hate to say this, if it was someone other than Game Freaks, I'd maybe say, yeah, maybe they can do that. But as is, I'm like, no, let's get as much content as they can possibly get in the Pokemon games because I know they make them in like a year and try to fill as much as they
fill in.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't want to see less than we're getting. I want to see, if anything, more. So it's weird. Pokemon's in a weird spot, but this game still looks cool. I'm still excited for it.
Yeah, you said you enjoyed Arceus, correct? You
a lot.
Actually
I thought Arceus was really good.
I did too. Did you feel like it was empty at times though? Like there were things that were cut off. Like you can kind of tell, like, oh, they kind of like cut corners here and there. Or what did you actually think of the game itself?
So, besides the games, like, I know everybody talked about like the graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was behind the times. I always described it like this. I described it that it felt like playing a GameCube game that happened to slip by me. A really good GameCube game that happened to slip by me. Like if I had never played the Wind Waker, and someone was like, "Oh, you got to play that," and I played it in 2022. I would still think it's a great game, but I would notice graphically,
a little off.
Yeah, it's a GameCube game. It's a GameCube
Right.
guys. I'm approaching these islands; they're popping up. That's what it is, and that's what Legends Arceus felt like to me. I don't personally mind that. Like, I like graphics in games, but they don't make or break a game for me. If the gameplay is good, if the everything else is good, I'm cool with it. As far as the game feeling kind of empty, I do wish there was more towns, non-playable character trainer battles, being throughout the game and stuff like that. It definitely did feel a little bit like most modern Pokemon games have felt, a little rushed. A little bit like some DLC might fill this game out. A little bit like it's not in the way old Pokemon games always felt like they were top of the line. Like, this is really pushing the boundaries. Like Pokemon Gold and Silver, I remember when that came out and I beat the game and the whole red and blue map was in the game. Pokemon had different genders. You could make egg Pokemon. You could get egg moves. You could trade
cycle.
The day and night cycle, all this stuff was like this. There's nothing else like this on the Game Boy. This is like a top of the line video game, let alone a Pokemon game. This is a top of the line video game.
Right.
I haven't felt that from Pokemon in a long, long time, but Legends Arceus at least felt like a big step in the right direction of where Pokemon probably should have been heading over the last decade, into a more open world, more. I mean, if the Pokemon concept had been thought up today and not thought up back in the 90s, you would create a game where you're a trainer going out to catch Pokemon, and you would hide in the grass, you would sneak up on them, you would throw the Pokeball, all that stuff that we didn't have in the games because we're moving forward on this archaic system that was trying to take that concept and put it onto the Game Boy. But then we've kept that for so long. Legends Arceus felt more like, okay, take that concept, but put it in a game today. Don't keep everything from before. Put it in a game today. So I really appreciated it for that. I don't think it was quite where it needs to be with Pokemon, and I'm happy to see where Scarlet and Violet get us. But it was a big step forward, and I enjoyed it. It was a breath of fresh air. More than any other Pokemon game that I played in a long time. So I was very happy with it, but I would still like to see more.
So do you think Scarlet and Violet will excel on the things that made Arceus kind of fall behind a little bit on?
So I think it's going to have some of the things that we're missing from Legends Arceus, because basically we've seen them more trainer battles, more focus on battling, gym leaders and stuff like that. Clearly is here. And more towns, and it's going to be fully open world, so you get to explore everywhere. So that's great. And I didn't mind too much having the different areas in Legends Arceus, but if the focus of the game is going to be big exploration, might as well do open world today. But it may take away some of the things I really liked about Legends Arceus, which is the actual, I kind of described it, hiding in the tall grass, actually throwing the Pokeball. Right. I really liked that, throwing the Pokemon out, having the Pokemon on the field kind of attack you, so you kind of run away from them. That made me feel like I was in a living, breathing world, and it made every encounter and every catch and every battle have a little personal story to it, because it's how I played out that game. If I don't know how Scarlet and Violet's going to play exactly, but it does look like a little bit of that is taken away here. And one of the things I really liked about Legends Arceus was that if I caught a Pokemon, let's say I went over this mountain range and I found this Pokemon I didn't know was over there, and it attacked me and I had to run away and I had to run back up on the ledge, and then I had to sneak up on it, and then I threw a Pokeball behind it and it popped out of the Pokeball, attacked me. I then threw another Pokemon out, started a battle, and then I finally caught it. There's a huge connection. There's a story. There's a big story and connection I now have with that Pokemon. And there's a lot of Pokemon that I would never have played back in the day, because those Pokemon, I'm walking in some tall grass, game, fight appears, run. I don't want that Pokemon. I don't like the way the sprite looks. That's it. That's the story of me and that Pokemon.
Right.
In Legends Arceus, I have all this interaction. Even Pokemon I didn't care that much about. What was it? The Shinx was in the first stage. They're attacking you the whole time. I never knew Shinx was a Pokemon that would was very aggressive. Yeah. But now, or Paris. Paris is another Pokemon. Gen 1 Pokemon. Still never really made a connection with me, but Paris was super aggressive in the game. And it was now when I think of Paris, I think about all these moments I had in Legend Arceus. I think that is so key to the Pokemon franchise, is getting people to connect with and love the Pokemon. And the Legends Arceus format does that so much better than the classic Pokemon way. So I hope Scarlet and Violet has at least a good amount of that stuff in it. I do feel like a little bit might be taken away. Like the specific catching mechanic seems to not be there.
Just adopt some of it, right? Just adopt some of it into there, sprinkle it in there, so that way it's not just like one of those things like they're famous for just like dropping like this concept, right?
Yeah, they come up with this great new concept, and we get it for like a game or two, and then they pull out some new gimmick, and then some new gimmick, and instead of just building upon what worked and throwing out what didn't, a lot of times they just throw out everything and build new stuff. So hopefully
Mega Evolution so much. Mega Evolution was like the best gimmick in my opinion.
Oh, Mega Evolutions were the best. I think what is gonna make this game for me, like make or break it, is the fact that, and I think we kind of know a little bit about it, but it's gonna have like towns. It's gonna have like that traditional like Pokemon feel, but just kind of like bumped up to, you know, like you were saying, Papa, with like the 2020 version of it. You know what I mean? 2022 version of it. And I know Arceus tried to do that, and I know it kind of had its setting. It was like in more like prehistoric times, and it gave you that feeling, that setting, and I 100% get that. I just never really clicked with that environment, only because it just felt too wasteful. It just felt like I'm just here running around through open world, open fields. I wanted that interaction with towns. I wanted that interaction with other people that were just kind of scattered throughout. I wish there were more people involved in the open world areas, where I just felt like there were just vast open world places with just Pokemon kind of like scattered, like sprinkled throughout. But I think that you made a great point with when it comes to Pokemon and getting that interaction with them and kind of giving them a personality. I feel like that's what they did really well with Arceus. They gave Pokemon like some type of personality, like you were saying, like giving them like that aggressive feel, or like that kind of like scared tactic of like moving away from you if you're like too close. Like that was great, and I think they can improve on that in this one. And if they do, I mean, I'm telling you, they have a major hit. For me, I would be like all in it. I'd be super like, this is gonna be like my Pokemon game for sure, because it has like that town, like the town interactions. It's going back to like the roots, but also evolving that, no pun intended. It just it adds on to the layers of what made the classic Pokemon titles classic, you know.
100%. And just what you were saying about building that story is like the counter of like shiny Pokemon. I remember playing Legend Arceus. I was on a flight to San Francisco, and I see a shiny Yama just like in the grass, and I'm like dead-eyed, like I need to catch you. I need to catch you. And I'm like sneaking, making sure I don't die. Like, and I caught it and evolved into a Yanmega, and it was like I felt so cool, because I'm like, if it was just a sprite that like popped up and it was just like a random account, I'm like, oh, it's cool and random, but like I worked to get that Pokemon, and they really should hone in on that. Absolutely. I think you hit it out of the park with what you're saying. Like they need to recapture those stories.
Yeah, exactly. And I think shiny Pokemon were one of the few things back in the day that kind of gave you that story feeling, or that personalized feeling, where it's like this moment was so mine. It's so my moment that I was in this, you know, area and I caught a shiny. But other than that, you know, the archaic version of Pokemon doesn't have as many of those moments as walking around in a world that feels more alive, like the Pokemon are really moving around, like you're really hunting them down. And to your point, Calvin, you were talking about how this one's going to be like set in modern times, or Pokemon modern times. I think that's one thing that's a little bit forgettable. I mean, I liked Legends Arceus being like, I dug it being set in the past and stuff, but that it was, you know, it was just a cool aesthetic. But I do think one thing that Pokemon did so well that a lot of people forget about is like when Pokemon first came out, like we didn't have cell phones and stuff, like having the Pokeballs and having the Pokedex, which is like basically a cell phone. I remember being a kid and like I wanted a Pokedex. I wanted the tech in Pokemon was futuristic. The PC, it was just, computers were pretty new when Pokemon came out. And the idea that you would store the Pokemon in a computer was like cool to me. And that kind of fell the wayside, or at least people don't talk about it as much, because technology, I won't say it caught up with the Pokemon world, but it somewhat, you know, leveled out into something more realistic. But I mean, I remember back in the day, like I wanted so badly not just to have Pokemon be real or go out and catch Pokemon. I wanted a Pokedex. I wanted this little device that would talk or have like a screen.
You never had a Pokedex?
Oh, no, I did. Oh, I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
he wanted a real Pokedex. He wanted like a real
one. I got you. Because that Pokedex was fire. Let me tell you.
It was awesome.
I love that thing.
But that was like one of the things that was like just as cool to me as the Pokemon. I think a lot of people sometimes forget that like that aspect of Pokemon is cool too. That like that technology aspect, or the universe, the world building of Pokemon isn't just the creatures, it's also the world building. It's also the world that they're in. Is pretty cool, and that always appealed to me. So yeah, setting it in the past, is still cool. It's still that same world, but it's a different aesthetic than the original world that caught my attention, which was a little futuristic to our world and a little more Pokemon focused. And I like that. That was always cool.
Right. And just to go back into nostalgia here, and the link cable, just the link cable itself, the fact that like the Pokemon's going through this like little tube, this little cable, and then going to your friend's Game Boy, like you actually thought like, oh my god, he's actually traveling through this actual tube.
He's in there.
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff gets lost. One last thing about Pokemon before we move on is I'm surprised there hasn't been any leaks yet. Usually there's leaks that come out before Pokemon. There hasn't been any leaks about this game. We haven't got any new forms. We usually get the starters by now. I would imagine we're 2 months out. So based on that, who are you picking as a starter without looking at the evolutions? You're going Fuecoco?
I might have to go Fuecoco because I mean, come on now, you know what I mean?
But
like
what if we have an Incineroar incident where he's just like, you're taking a risk here?
I am. What's the water type Pokemon?
Quaxley. That's the one I'm probably going to get.
I think he has swag to him. I'm going to pick Quaxley. Yeah. He has so much swag to him, and I feel like he's just I'm a water type Pokemon guy. Like I always kind of gravitate more towards water Pokemon. I think he would be my go-to. It depends. It really depends. I think it's going to be mostly I always pick the heat of the moment, like right when I have to choose. I'm like, oh man, I don't know which one to pick, but
that's the best way to do it.
The water type Pokemon though.
What about you? Are you a Fuecoco guy, or are you
actually I'm usually a fire type Pokemon, but Quaxley, something about him. I think I like the idea in my head of where I think he's gonna go, which is gonna be like a Matador or a Admiral or some sort of like regal sword fighting guy. Like that's the vibe I get from him, especially because it's a Spain setting. Like I feel like they're gonna go something like that Three Musketeers looking guy or something. So I'm probably gonna go Quaxley, but I'll probably wait until I see the final evolutions before I completely lock in which Pokemon I'm gonna say. On the note of no leaks, though, there are like a lot of leaks for this game. I've been kind of trying to avoid them.
Really? I haven't seen anything pop up on the web of anything like that, but
so there hasn't been like pictures of the evolutions of the star. I mean, there has been, but unclear if they're real or not, which is always what happens with Pokemon. But there has been some more ones that are like have been coming true. Like what's the person's name? It's like Q or it's KHU, something I don't know how to say it. They've been leaking stuff. And most of the stuff they've said has come true, but it's like vague and kind of they've done some like riddle stuff. I've been staying away from it just because I kind of want to go into the game a little bit more blind. And,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, obviously I'm like a league guy, like clearly. But for Pokemon stuff, two things I haven't really been going too hard on it. One, I kind of want to go into the game blind, and two, it's like with Pokemon leaks, there's always so many that like kind of like I said that. There'll be like image leaks that people draw, and people are so good at them, and it's like concept art, and it's like I don't want to get too attached to a fake concept art Pokemon and then have that it didn't happen, and that happens all the time with Pokemon leaks. So I try to just wash my hands of it, especially because there's so many Pokemon now too that like I can't remember all 900, and I hate to have in my head like, oh, that guy, he's this, and people are like, that doesn't exist. I'm like, no, there's one, and then I look it up, I'm like, oh no, wait, sorry, that was in the speculation cycle of a Pokemon game. That was a fake guy. Sorry, I thought that was real. And I gotta keep myself clean here because it's like 900 Pokemon to remember. So
100%. Well, there's about to be a lot more coming soon, November. So
real quick before we move on, what you guys think of the OLED console like that they showed off the Switch?
It's fine,
right?
It's fine. Yeah. It's cool. Would I personally want it? Pay $360 and I already have a Switch? No, if I didn't have a Switch, then I would probably get this one. But I don't know if you saw the back of it though. I don't know if you can pull up a picture of it, but it's insane in the back. There's a bunch of like Pokemon in the back.
Stamps almost. Looks like a bunch of stamps.
Yeah. It's really weird, but there's a lot going on. Like the front is really clean. It just has the two legendaries, and then the back of it is just like I don't know.
I think it's a really cool like version of the OLED, OLED, however we're saying that, OLED Switch. But my thing is, I'm exactly in the boat with you, Rob. It's like, I have a Switch. If my Switch broke, cool. I'd probably buy this one or buy some different one. Yeah, there it is.
It's like graffiti
in the bag.
Yeah. It's I like the two different paddles, the Joy-Cons. I like the colors scheme. I think that's cool.
Well, one of the things that I always liked about the Switch when it first came out was that it had Joy-Cons, and I bought a bunch of Joy-Cons. I have like right next to me here, I have a ton of different colored Joy-Cons. One of the reasons I did that was so that like I can customize. I have one Switch by Joy-Cons. I can customize it all sorts of different colors. And if I'm playing this game, I want it to look kind of more Breath of the Wild colors. I'll use the blue ones. If I'm playing like if I get Scarlet, I'll use the red ones. Stuff like that. So like, and they've come out with all these different models of Switch, but unless my Switch breaks, I probably won't buy another Switch until there's like a true Switch Pro or something down the line. That's like the next real Switch or next real console.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. You could always buy skins. You could always buy skins, stickers, decals, and it works the same. But enough about Pokemon. Let's move on to our next news topic. And Cyberpunk 2077 is going to get its first and last expansion next year. It's called Phantom Liberty. We got a minute official teaser about it. It's gonna skip the last gen consoles, so they're not PS4, Xbox One, not gonna get it. Keanu Reeves is going to return as Johnny Silverhand, which is actually super interesting that he's coming back. It's gonna focus on a new area of Night City. It is targeting a 2023 release date. It didn't give an exact date. It's very broad. They were kind of weird about that. One thing that is really strange is that it's actually coming out for Stadia, which I thought was kind of already a dead platform, but I guess it's still kicking. It's not coming out for PS4 and Xbox One, but it's coming out for Stadia.
I mean, I think they learned their lesson with the whole PS4 fiasco and Xbox 360 thing. So
yeah. And again, the CEO confirmed that this past May, that it's going to be the last expansion, the first and the last expansion of the game. So other than that, we don't have a ton of details about it yet, except for that one trailer where we hear V talking and we hear Johnny Silverhand. What are your thoughts on this, Kelv? Like, too late? Like, are you done? Are you over Cyberpunk? Should they even? I already know what you're gonna say. Honestly,
it's funny. It's like I understand that they got a lot of heat for Cyberpunk, and I think they're still trying to make amends with what happened, right? With how things ended up with it. Yeah, everyone's kind of got swindled, but they promised DLC, right? So this is it. I think if things were turned differently, I feel like they would probably scratch this off and be like, you know what? Forget the DLC. But because they did mention this, they kind of have to commit to it, Will this be the turning point for Cyberpunk, though? Like, will this actually change people's perspectives, and would they update the game enough to kind of really fix all the issues that a lot of people had with Cyberpunk? I don't know, but maybe this could be, as long as the DLC has a phenomenal story and it kind of pushes that kind of story driven with like what the original, like the vanilla Cyberpunk had, I think it could do well. But I do feel like it's a little too late because so many people have been burnt from this game, and I feel like now everyone just kind of moved on, and they've already have a bad taste in their mouth, and they kind of, every time they see Cyberpunk, they're like, oh, I remember that game when that first came out, and a bunch of bugs and a bunch of like all this like fake hope and lost hope and all that stuff. So I don't know if they can recover from this, but they're also pushing this, right? Like they're also doing an anime for Cyberpunk. So they're still kind of
something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The anime.
So I think they're still kind of making amends, and they're still trying to push this because I don't think they're done with Cyberpunk. I think they're done with this first one, but I feel like there will be Cyberpunk 2 at some point in the future. And then maybe hopefully that can kind of, who knows, like what if they make like an anime but also like a show on Netflix that kind of like brings back this game from like the grave, you know what I mean? Like who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Cyberpunk, PapaGenos?
Yeah, so I played Cyberpunk. I played it when it came out, and I didn't play it for very long. It was, to me, what it was for many people, kind of disappointing. I got caught up in the hype right before it came out, like, oh man, it's gonna be like the next big game. I got it. I barely played it. It never pulled me in. And I like the Cyberpunk idea. Like I like Blade Runner. I love Cowboy Bebop. Like I like that like aesthetic big time. But the game just did not pull me in. So I only played a little bit of it. As far as them doing DLC, like you said, Calvin, I like the fact that they are at least following through with the fact they said they were going to do this. So that's, good. That's at least, following through with a promise. Maybe if it doesn't pull people back in now, at least it's following through with that promise. So like you also said, if the anime or Netflix show, I don't know what it is exactly, if that does good, or if the franchise, the IP is still strong, or makes people fall in love with it somewhere else. I think it was a tabletop game first, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Not sure.
I would have to double check on that, but
I think it, like, I know The Witcher's, like, it was a novel series, first.
Right.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this was a tabletop series. But, like, if that gets an audience somewhere else and they want to make a sequel to the game, or if they just want to take another crack at, like, this setting and make a sequel, and try to get an audience the second time, doing stuff like following through with what you said you're going to do last time definitely it keeps you in the good graces of your fans for future endeavors, which is important. Whether or not this one pulls everybody back or makes the game something really great, I don't know, though. Maybe it will. Like I said, I only played a little bit of the game. It didn't pull me in. But if all of a sudden I start hearing everybody say, oh, man, they totally fixed it, it's great, this is what it should have been when it came out, this is what everybody wanted, I have the game, I might pop it in and play again. Like,
you got to remember, there was like over 8 million people that bought this game. Like they have like 8 million
sold
copies
extremely
sold.
well. Yeah.
So these 8 million people, right, have this game whether they like it or not. If this DLC turns out to be a hit and people start talking about it, you get headlines, IGN starts talking about it, and it just kind of rejuvenates the talk. People will be like, you know what? I bought this game. I can just download it again and try it out and see how, maybe it is fixed. Maybe it is what they originally envisioned for this game. And I can see that kind of like bringing back a lot of the fan base. But again, it just has to like really hit home for everybody. Like the gameplay has to be phenomenal. The story has to be phenomenal. Like the gunplay, I think the gunplay was the gameplay was a little bit off sometimes. Like it just felt off. A lot of the character designs were kind of weird too. Like there are just a lot of like things that just felt weird about that game, and it just felt unfinished. So maybe this could be it.
Now, do we know if it's a free DLC or is it a paid DLC? Do you have to pay for this?
I'm 90% sure this is free. If they charge you for this, I'm like, damn, it's shady. Like you can't. You have to give this for free. Like
I think so too.
Already have a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Just give it for free and let everyone enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea if it's free or paid or what, but if it is free DLC, and like you said, if the headlines start saying like it's good, it's fixed, this is the game we wanted, then I have it. I might pop it back in and play it again. It didn't disappoint me to the point where I'd never touch that game again. I'm someone I stuck around with Fallout 76, so that's saying something about me right there. So if this does good, Cyberpunk 2077 does good with the DLC, I'll potentially go back to it. I remember, was it No Man's Sky? I never played No Man's Sky, but I know that like burned people on its release. But nowadays people say it's good, and I think it's been good for a while. I think they fixed it up. So games can do that. These days, the whole idea of a bad game being bad forever, I think that's like a Miyamoto quote, like the game that you release is bad forever if you don't wait on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's not so true these days with DLC and the ability to keep working on a game after the fact. Yeah, updating it. So it's possible a game that wasn't great on release can get better further down the line. So I am always willing to give a game a second chance if I might not be the guinea pig for it, but if somebody else says it's great, somebody else is playing it and saying it's great, and I start hearing word of mouth that it's good, then I'll jump in too.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know if this is free or not. I'm guessing.
I think it. I didn't see anything that said that it was going to be you had to pay for it.
I don't know, man. If I was CD Projekt Red, I'd be like, you know what? Here you guys go. Like, sorry, this is like a peace offering. You know what I mean? Like, but it doesn't say. I'm looking around and I don't see anything that says it's free or not. So
I mean, like you guys said, it sold extremely well, despite not getting good reviews and everything. It still sold very, very well. So yeah, it would be probably better to, like you said, a peace offering, kind of a consolation prize. Like, here you go. Hopefully you guys aren't so mad. We did continue working on it. Hopefully this is more what you expected it to be. And just give it to the fans for free at that point, because they did make a lot of money on it. So.
You were 100% right, by the way, PapaGenos. Cyberpunk is a tabletop role-playing game in a dystopian science fiction genre written by Mike Pottsmith and first published by R. Testorian Games in 1988. So, wow.
Nice. Awesome.
It's fucking awesome. You knew that. That's crazy. I was like, wait, that makes it more interesting. That was a tabletop game. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought I heard about that. I had seen, I think in the lead up to the game coming out, people were showing like, honestly, it was when people were kind of like, I don't know if this game's going to live up to expectations. They show pictures of like what the graphics from the game or images, screenshots from the game, and then the original. And I remembered it was the original tabletop concept art or whatever that was in the tabletop gaming books or whatever, and how if these don't match up, this isn't what they wanted. So that's why I knew that.
Enough about Cyberpunk. Let's move on to a pretty big news piece here. We got new Assassin's Creed games incoming. Assassin's Creed Red and Neo and Hexe. So rumors are definitely true. Ubisoft is planning to announce not one, but several Assassin's Creed titles on Saturday, including 2 main games and Infinity. So the first title is called Red. It is set in Japan, developed by Ubisoft's Quebec City office. The other is Neo Hexe, set amongst the witch trials of the Holy Roman Empire, developed by Ubisoft's Montreal office. It is also going to showcase a mobile title. Both Red and Neo will be part of Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is a platform for future games in a series of multiple settings. We're not probably going to get this until 2024. Yeah, what do you guys think about them kind of releasing multiple games and announcing all these games? Now it's going to be Saturday, so we don't know yet. There's also a tweet here from Jason Schreider. The rumors are true. Ubisoft plans to announce several Assassin's Creed games on Saturday, including the 2 main games in Infinity. There's Red, set in Japan, and Neo and Hexe amongst the witch trial, which I just said. So this is 100% true. Kelv, what are your thoughts on it? Because this is kind of weird.
Yeah, why? Okay, well, first off, why is there so many Assassin's Creed?
What's going on? What's going on?
Like, relax. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people are Assassin's Creed out at some point, but I'm kind of on the fence, and I'm kind of debating if I should live stream this on Saturday because I think it starts Saturday. And I'm definitely looking forward to the Ubisoft Forward because that's cool. Only because it's interesting how they have so many Assassin's Creed games jam-packed into this, and they're all completely different from each other. I want to see how they incorporate that all together, especially with Assassin's Creed Unity. Like, I still don't quite understand what that is. And I don't know from
right?
Infinity.
Because Unity is actually a game.
Yes, I'm sorry, Infinity. I'm sorry, I meant Infinity. I feel like from what it sounds like, from what Jason Schreier said, it just sounds like it's going to be. So he said something along the lines of including the 2 main games in Infinity. So are they going to be 2 small games? So is it Assassin's Creed Red and Assassin's Creed Neo going to be 2 like almost DLC types, and then incorporate that into one?
But
hub
Infinity
world
is also a game, is it they're just like you said, a hub, a platform for all the games to live?
There's so many questions, and you don't know. And then on top of that, you have what they just recently kind of announced, right, with Mirage. Like we have that game that they're also going to be announcing or showing off it on the Ubisoft Forward. So it's like I'm really interested to see how they incorporate all these together. I think if I'm being honest, I think I'm more so excited for the Neo one because a setting amongst witch trials, like Holy Roman Empire.
That
like,
one,
that sounds really dope.
no, it's a Japan one all the way. What? Are you serious?
We have
right now?
Ghost of Tsushima though. They're a little too late.
But Assassin's Creed, man, like we've been wanting an Assassin's Creed.
We've been wanting that for quite some time, but Sucker Punch beat them to it, I think. So I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, right? Like, do we need this one coming out in Japan, like the Japan version? Because Ghost of Tsushima did it so well. Is it gonna excel on all the stuff that Ghost of Tsushima did? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions, and that's why I'm mostly looking forward to the event on Saturday to see what they have to show. Am I gonna play most of these? Probably not, because I've talked about this in length before, but these huge open world, massive games that Ubisoft tends to make, I'm just not. I used to be a fan of them, but now in my older age, I'm just like, I can't finish this. I could barely fit in 10 hours of gameplay in a week, So for me to play these games from start to finish, it's really hard for me. And we talked about this last week. We're like, what if they made a smaller, kind of more condensed Assassin's Creed title, 20 to 30 hour long, and maybe
which is what Mirage
sounds like what it is, right? So maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're getting something like that that's focused more on story, that's focused more on gameplay, and not so much on the open world massiveness of like Assassin's Creed games.
Papa?
Yeah. So echo a lot of the sentiments you just said. I have no idea what is it. Assassin's Creed Infinity? Is that what they're calling the whatever
the
this
massive
grouping?
game, the platformer hub. We don't exactly know what Infinity is yet. We just know it's going to be a huge Assassin's Creed platform. It almost makes it seem like a mega game.
Okay.
From what we're getting from it, right?
So that definitely intrigues me, if nothing else, to want to find out more about what's going on with all this, and might maybe explain why they're announcing so many games all at once, because that's also a little perplexing, like
jarring.
Yeah, why do that when why not have Mirage and then wait and then announce Neo and then wait and then or whatever, however it goes, to focus on that game, because this feels like I'm just getting bombarded with Assassin's Creed games. And honestly, I mean, you slipped up and you called it Unity, and you said you got burnt out on the open world thing. I'm right there with you. I got flooded with Assassin's Creed, like oversaturated with Assassin's Creed games. I played the first one with Altair, and I loved it. That was great. And then the Ezio ones, and then they made like sequels to the Ezio one, like was Brotherhood and stuff like that. And by the time I got to Assassin's Creed 3, I liked Assassin's Creed 3, but I was pretty burnt out on Assassin's Creed at that point. They just,
right.
And then they've done that ever since. They've just put out so many. I watched a friend play the pirate one a little bit. I think it was 4. And I watched the Egyptian one. I thought that setting was really cool. That one I almost bought because of the setting. I really like Japan. I like Japanese stuff. So maybe I'd get, what's the Japanese one called?
Hex? No, Red.
Red's Japanese one. Hex is the
Witch Trials.
Witch Trial one.
Yeah.
Okay. See, now I have so many, I can't even I feel like this is a constant thing with Assassin's Creed, to oversaturate, and that can be a bit of a problem. So yeah, maybe I'll play Red because the setting's cool, but maybe not. Either way, though, I am excited. I don't know if excited is the right word. I'm intrigued to find out what this is all about. I'll definitely watch it. I want to see what their plan is or why they're telling us about all these games all at once. So it's intriguing, interesting, whatever you want to say it, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear a big Robert theory about Assassin's Creed?
Let's hear it.
Infinity. What I think it's going to be, what I think would be the optimal way they should do it. So you guys just went off and said there's so many Assassin's Creed games that it's hard to keep up. Like I
think I know where you're going with this.
I don't know where the 5th one is. I don't know where the 6th one. I have no idea. I just know that they're set in different timepieces. What I think Infinity is going to do is, right now on PlayStation Plus Extra, you can play most of the Assassin's Creed games, including your membership. So you could go Origins. I think Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I think they're almost all of them are on there. Okay, and I know Origins is now on Game Pass. People want you to play these games. So what I think Infinity is going to do, it's going to be this giant hub. You're going to walk in with your character. You're going to be like you, right? And you're going to be able to jump into each of these timepieces. You want to go into Valhalla, you go in here, you'll go into be an assassin in the Viking time. I think they're setting up by different timepieces to where it's a lot more manageable for people.
An Assassin's Creed multiverse?
Essentially. Yes,
interesting.
It's what it is, but making it digestible for everyone. It's neat and organized to where, like, I don't know what game I'm going to play because there's just like a bajillion of them right now, and they just keep updating that hub with a new timepiece. Hence, Red Hex, like, and then you just how you complete the game. You basically can't really complete the game because it's so many different. So that's why maybe it's what called Infinity, because it could go be timeless, different verses, I guess, like, you know what I mean, different time periods. So that's what I think they're trying to do with Infinity. I don't know. That just makes sense to me.
Interesting theory.
Yeah, I dig that theory. Actually, if they did that, I think I'd like that. Actually, if Assassin's Creed became a game where it's like a hub game and they just make different time periods and they add it to that, it'd probably be a lot more easy to digest if you have it that way. So yeah, if that's what this is, and that's why they have multiple, why they're like, and the first 2 new time periods that they're going to have are these 2, and it's just going to always add to this. That would make sense. So yeah, cool theory. I like it.
Did they mention, I think I talked about it last week, but did they mention Infinity being a live service type of thing, or no?
I think they did. I think it was like their most ambitious project, and it's going to keep going. So I don't know if it's something that you like buy right away. It might even be subscription based for all we know, which would be annoying, but it could be.
I can see that being, I can see that doing well. I think that would solve a lot of the issues that I have, right, when it comes to Assassin's Creed, where if you make it, and again, we talked about this in length, but like making it as like a Destiny type of like PvE or something, right, where you can just jump into a friend's like server and just kind of like mess around and be, both of you guys are assassins, and you can like time travel, or you can go into like different other worlds and just like, you know, just go into other worlds and just explore and then and do like different missions and stuff. Like that could be cool. That could be something interesting that you're not really like forced to like play story in a sense, but you're just more kind of making the stories yourself with your friends.
And it's the framework's already done. They already have like ancient Greece set up. They have Egypt set up. They have the Vikings are all set up. Like all the framework's done. They just have to import those worlds. Obviously, make changes and stuff like that. But
Sure.
everything is pretty much set and done for them. And I think that they should continue to make like these single short titles, like Mirage seems like to be, for the people that just want to go into the story. But for the people that just want that massive, huge world, this is perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know that a big part of the Assassin's Creed games, or something that they've gotten a lot of praise for, is their maps, and the fact that they take like historical areas and they actually like recreate them really well. So not just scrapping those maps and having them, oh, they were part of that game and that game's gone and it's gone forever or whatever, but pulling all that back. I heard some story I read on, I don't know if it was like some article or something about some kid who was in like, he was in Rome or something, and because of Assassin's Creed, his like school field trip got lost, and he was like, "Oh, well, I know that location. If you go over here and here, there, I found like," and he got them like where they were trying to go or something because he had played so much Assassin's Creed. Yeah,
Wow.
So, and he just did it based on the map that he knew from that game. So, that would be a great way to also incorporate all those settings and all the maps and all the work they've already done creating those landscapes and areas and everything. And put them all back into a game and get use out of them. So yeah, it's a cool theory. I hope that is what it is. Now that you've put that in my mind, I hope that's what they do.
Well, our questions will be answered on Saturday, right? Go.
Yeah,
So
I think I'll live stream it. I don't have anything to do Saturday, so
there you go.
Definitely check that out. Yeah,
we'll know Saturday, and we'll report back on next week what exactly happened. Last piece of news. It's kind of a sad one because we're Multiversus fans, and
it's not that bad.
It's not terrible. It's not that bad. It's not like they're
tomorrow.
Oh,
no, well, if you're watching this, it's tomorrow. But if you're listening to this, it's already out.
Yeah. Gizmo was delayed for Multiversus. The release date for Gizmo, the new character joining Multiversus roster from Gremlins, is delayed until Thursday. So if you're audio, he's already out. Currently, Multiversus also confirmed Stripe from Gremlins, Rick from Rick and Morty, and DC's Black Adam. So not that big of a deal of the news. I was kind of being a little ridiculous with that, as far as like say like it's really sad, but it's really just a day, or 2 days. I don't know. He's coming out.
It was supposed to come out Monday or something like that. Yeah, or Tuesday. It was supposed to come out
Tuesday, and then yeah.
It wasn't like 10 days or 2 weeks. You had to wait, or a month. You had to wait for this guy. So, what do you think of them just like kind of announcing it like that? Like, oh, he was supposed to come out, but now he's not coming out in like 2 days. Does you guys really care about it, or you're just like, do you think it was well done? I don't know.
I think this game is. It's interesting how they're kind of showing off a lot of their characters, and we talked a little bit about this, Rob. Yes.
So before we go into that rabbit hole of
okay, because we're going into some rabbit hole right now, dude.
What do we think of the pick of the character?
Of like Gizmo himself?
Gizmo himself?
Yes. Good?
He's fine.
Bad? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay. I mean, do we need Stripe and Gizmo? I don't know but I don't see why. I got to see his play style. But I like that they're using different characters and not just like human-based characters, like you have Superman.
They're not describing every DC.
Yeah, I want more like Scooby-Doo. I want like different like animal kind of based characters to kind of like differentiate a lot of the characters that they have. So I'm okay with this.
Okay, what about you, Papa?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with Gizmo. I think it shows that they can branch out into like obscure, I guess not really obscure, but their movies, their older stuff,
outside the box, kind of like characters.
Outside the box characters, yeah, not what you would necessarily expect given the roster so far. And I think doing that, especially early on here, is going to show the the length that they can reach out for what can get in this game, which I think is important to show. So I'm happy with Gizmo. I think he's yeah, I like the Gremlins movie when I was a kid, so like I'm cool with it. I definitely think he has a cool moveset potential. I agree that he's not like I like that we have Iron Giant. He's this gigantic character. Gizmo's probably gonna be tiny, and he's not, you know, a human
That's
character.
Gonna be ridiculous. Actually, imagine the two of them on screen. Yeah,
yeah, so it's gonna be cool. As far as Gizmo and Stripe, like getting two Gremlins characters, I was talking to somebody earlier today about it, and just that like it is a little weird because we're gonna have a roster of only like about I think 20 characters if they added both Gizmo and Stripe. What do we have? 17 right now. So regardless, we don't know the order. We don't know how many characters are going to get here before Gizmo and Stripe end up on the roster. We're going to have about 20 characters, 2 of which are going to be from Gremlins, which is, I won't say obscure, but it's a bit of a niche thing. So like, it's kind of like, well, is that the way to put your best foot forward, or should they be doing more known characters at the beginning? But one thing I did think about was that this game is focused on doubles. It's all about teams, you know, 2 characters together is 2 characters together.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of times when they release characters, if they can, they're probably going to try to do like Rick and Morty, Finn and Jake, you know, Scooby and Velma, get 2 Scooby-Doo characters in there, get at least 2 DC characters in there, get 2 Gremlins characters in there. Even though you could do either Gizmo or Stripe and save the other one for months down the road to just make the roster as different as possible. But I think what they're going for is a lot of the team stuff. They can get at least 2 characters from a franchise. They probably will, so that there is that, whether or not it, you know, makes a big difference gameplay wise, but that there is that you can be a Gremlins team, you can be a DC superhero team, you can be a Batman Harley Quinn team, you can be a Adventure Time team, you can be a Steven Universe team. There's at least enough characters to do that. So I think that's probably why we're getting 2 Gremlins characters early on. But that's just kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't pull a Fire Emblem with Smash, that's they're doing the right thing. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. As long as they don't like just destroy, you know, just litter all these characters from the same IP. I think they're doing okay. I think 2 is fine for now. Like, don't that's like, okay, stop. You know what I mean?
I don't suspect we'd get any more Gremlins characters, at least not for a long, long time. I think this is probably it for Gremlins characters, but I think they want 2 so that you can do that doubles thing. As far as like a Fire Emblem situation, they'd probably have to take something a little bit like if there's a lot of Looney Tunes or a lot of DC superheroes, I'm not gonna be that mad at that. That feels like Pokemon getting a lot of characters or Mario getting a lot of characters. It's when they take something that's just a little more niche and they give it a lot of characters. That's when I feel like you get that Fire Emblem situation. Not that the series doesn't deserve a lot of characters, but when it's taking up a large chunk of a roster, you know, it does give you that feeling. Though I will say Multiversus with the model of just endlessness, just giving characters forever, that might solve it right there. I mean, even if we get like, let's say we get like 8 Steven Universe characters before we get 8 DC characters, am I really going to care knowing next month there's another character and the month after that there's another character and next year there's more character? Like, you know, I might not care because it's like things will just catch up and even out eventually. So, you know, I think that solves it.
Yeah, this game could be huge, and we talked a little bit about this, but when it comes to Smash Ultimate, let's kind of talk about Smash Ultimate a little bit, right? Where we knew that there at some point there was going to be an end goal, right? We knew it was going to end at some point. With Multiverses, they're in a great situation here where they can kind of do what they want forever, right? Like they could make this a live service game and they can continue playing. They can continue playing like the long run, make this Multiverses and just stick. It doesn't have to be Multiversus 2. It doesn't have to be Multiversus 3. It's just strictly Multiverses. And like you said, PapaGenos, just make this game a live service game so that you can continue getting characters in the long haul, you know, and
it attracts people for the long haul as well, because now they want to be more invested because they know that they can just stick with this game and not have to wait for the next installment to go through. They could just stick with this for as long as they can, and they can put the hours into it, and they know it's not gonna be like, well, I got to learn a whole new game in like 3 years, 4 years, and it's going to be not relevant anymore. So,
and as far as the characters go, I'm enjoying a lot of the character announcements. I just feel like the way they're announcing them is a little just chaotic sometimes. I just feel like the way they've announced them, it's okay, but like they've announced Rick, cool, right? Or I'm sorry, Morty. Who's out right now? Morty's out.
Morty's the newest character.
Rick is coming out
Gizmo's
soon.
out.
But Gizmo is coming out like tomorrow, but that was announced like way before Rick and Morty and Black Adam as well. So it's just like there's no consistency of like how they're releasing these characters from what it seems like. And again, this is like the beginning, you know, they're starting off, they're making sure like this is still a beta, right? So we're still kind of ironing out some of the kinks and just like questioning what they're doing. You mentioned obviously before, PapaGenos, that these characters are already set in stone. I'm sure they have a list of characters that they already want to announce and show off and probably already started building. But the way they're announcing them just kind of seems a little just
wacky.
I don't want to say this is a strong word, but like sloppy sort of, right?
Unorganized.
Just like, like, hey, we're just throwing all these characters at you, and fine, but at a certain point, it's just like, all right, like, where's the consistency here? Like, what's the end goal for this as far as like who are we getting, how are we getting them? I think you mentioned a great point where like if they're doing this like team-based thing, like that's really cool. I know there were some leaks. We mentioned about it when Rob was gone, but with the Witch of the West, right, could be possibly leaked, and then also Beetlejuice as well. Like that would be, for me, I would love Beetlejuice in this. I would love Animaniacs. Like I would love those characters to be in this. But with how they're releasing these characters, I wish there was a little bit more oomph to them. And I know this is a smaller studio, even though they have Warner Brothers backed up on them, but it just feels like the way they're announcing these characters are just like kind of posts on Twitter. And, you know, I know they don't have the funds for like Smash Brothers, but it just, I wish there was a little bit more when it came to like more hype when it came to the characters that they're announcing.
Is that a product of Super Smash Brothers and
100%.
how we're spoiled by Super Smash Brothers? Because if that didn't exist and they were just doing this, would we say anything? Would you be like, all right, cool, new character? Or because Smash is out and they did the cutscenes, they did like focus on a story. That
I will say this, they're not doing a bad job by any means. You know, they're doing a fantastic, especially like on Twitter. Like I know Brandon, you're heavy on Twitter, so you know Tony is constantly posting and constantly like just giving everybody like updates on like how this game is being built and like what they're fixing and what the update's going to be next. Like he's doing a phenomenal job of like just keeping us in the loop, and I love that in any studio, you know. But they're doing a great job of like just letting you be a part of the community and just like saying, hey, this is what's happening next. You know, I understand you guys' frustration. This is going to be tweaked at some point. We're working on this, like a lot of heavy communication, which I love. And again, it's not their fault that, you know, they're not getting these like high budget like trailers, but I just wish that would be something maybe in the future, you know, that would be something that they can work on.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Their transparency, their community building, and their communication is like top notch. It's really great to see.
100%. I agree.
Which I think is going to do wonders for this game and building it going forward, keeping people you know, happy with the game and knowing what's coming next and everything like that. But I do agree with it's weird. So on some level, I think we have been spoiled by Smash and the CGI trailers and the huge I don't know what to call it, hype that builds up before a character reveal and you know, the announcement's this gigantic thing. And obviously Multiversus feels a lot like Smash. It's a platform fighter with character reveals and who could get in. It has all that to it. But I do think the haphazard weirdness of the reveals, you're right about that. It's not just like being disappointed that it's not this big CGI event for every character. It's also like, okay, at Comic-Con, we got LeBron James, Rick, and Morty announced. We got LeBron, then Morty got delayed. We got Morty. We still don't have Rick, but we're getting Gizmo. The season 1 started, and we got the login screen with Black Adam and Stripe, but we don't have them yet. So it's like this weird, like, I know about a character, but I don't know when they're happening. I have like
season 1 ends in November, so it's like we know it's ending in like
we know
they're start.
Yeah, we know it's coming in a few months at least. Like Rick will be here by November. Black Adam and Stripe will be here by November. We got Gizmo. And the way that they've shown off the characters has been different. It's like we got a CGI trailer that had Iron Giant and I think Taz, I think maybe were new in that trailer. And before that, Velma was just a tweet without even a picture of her. But that was sort of like, that was in closed alpha days. So, you know, that's kind of forgivable, but that's what happened with that. And then Gizmo, they just announced Black Adam and Stripe were just the login screen when season 1 started. Basically,
they're not. Where are they? Like they're on the log. I stare at them and like, where's this character? It's like a tease. It's just teasing me.
it's weird. So it's been really weird. But I do think they're in open beta. I think they're just kind of getting a feel for how they want to do things going forward. I think the key here, even less so than like this big hype CGI trailer, is just consistency is going to be like, it's going to kind of fix that, I think, feeling. I think once we get, I don't know if we're ever going to catch up. Maybe it's always going to be like this, but I hope we eventually catch up and we get Black Adam, we get Stripe, we get Rick. We'll obviously have Gizmo. We might even have him already. I don't know when you're listening to this. And then, going forward, whatever the next character, if it is Beetlejuice and Wicked Witch in October, then, they'll come out, or they'll be announced and they'll come out. And, then when season 2 starts, maybe the season 2 login screen won't give away the characters, or maybe they'll give away the first 2 characters. And that's okay, because then that's how we learned about them. And then right before they happen, we'll get a small little CGI teaser like we did with Gizmo. And, I don't know how it's going to happen going forward, but I do hope they get some consistency, even if it's not this big CGI thing, if it's an in-game rendered. I think Gizmo's trailer was like an in-game rendered.
Gizmo's fine. Yeah. The way they did that, I think it's fine. Again, I'm not expecting like these big budget, like hype trailers that they have on like Nintendo Directs, for example, but something that kind of gives you that like incentive to like, oh, I can't wait till the next trailer pops up. Oh, I can't wait till that comes out,
Give us a reveal. I want a moment where I can go, okay, tomorrow there's a reveal. It's at this time. I'm sitting there at my computer. I'm excited. Play the video. Oh, sweet, that character. I just want that. It doesn't have to be, it can be literally gameplay, but like, just give me that. So hopefully they get more steady and consistent with that, because I do think that's important. Regardless of it being as hype or as polished as a Smash reveal, just give me a reveal at least. Because the way they've done it so far has been, we've gotten like some reveals and some things are revealed that we don't have yet. So it's
very
just
wishy-washy.
Yeah, wishy-washy, haphazard. I think it's sloppy, messy. I some of those sound worse than whatever, but yeah, let's just get things consistent and clean and go forward that way. So hopefully they get doing that.
Listen, all I know is PapaGenos is the GOAT. That's from Eric Shaw, and you guys are all great. What do you hope for the most from the supposed upcoming Direct? Real quick, I'm just going to say Breath of the Wild 2, and I hope they show us Metroid Prime 4. That's kind of my 2.
Oh, I was going to go a little bit before that. I was going to say Metroid Prime like
remaster?
Just like a remaster. Yes, that's all I want right now. Like Metroid Prime 4, I can wait for that. I want the remaster. I want to play like the oldies, because it's been a while since I played them, and
with
I just
updated
want to kind
controls,
of like updated controls, like the whole thing. So that's what I'm kind of like looking forward to, and it should be on the horizon.
Yeah, I want to see Breath of the Wild 2 is like my number one thing I want to see. I've been waiting so long to see that game. So I want to see that. I want it to blow my mind with whatever they've been working on, because it's been a while. I thought it was going to be a quick turnaround. Like, it's going to be Breath of the Wild with some nice, quality of life improvements for you. But now it's been, I think, a longer development cycle than any other 3D Zelda game has had. So, like,
we still don't know the title. Like,
we don't know what it's called.
The problem is that they have to follow up what's probably the best Zelda game of all time right now, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah. Like, what do we do? Like, what do you think? So do you think we'll see a trailer, or do you think we'll see just a title? Like, do you think that, how far are they in production?
I think we're close, right?
Yeah.
We got to be close.
It's supposed to come out in spring 2023. The Breath of the Wild had an E3, so that would have been 3-4 months ago. The E3 before Breath of the Wild came out, which came out in spring, and they showed off like a ton. It had not gameplay, demos people could play of the Great Plateau. It showed off a ton of stuff from the game, and that was, we are closer to the game coming out now, supposedly, unless they delay it again, than we were when we learned a lot about Breath of the Wild. And we don't know the name of this game. So, yeah, I'm hoping we get the title. But honestly, they've shown some stuff from the game already over the last few years. So, not much, but they've shown something. So, I think we will get a full-blown trailer with the title. And hopefully from now on, it's just going to be every couple months. Here's more Breath of the Wild news. Here's more, just really hype us up until it comes out. As far as other things I think will be in the Direct, there was some rumors about, I think, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess being ported from Wii U.
Apparently a major Zelda blowout for this one.
Yeah.
They should just do a Zelda Direct. It should just be all Zelda, and that's it.
I'd be fine with that. But I'd love to see the Prime remaster. If we do see something for Prime 4, that'd be cool. If they save Prime 4 for like the big E3 thing, because Breath of the Wild will be out, 2 will be out by then. That's fine with me. But yeah, I'm kind of just cool with anything. I'd love to see, Nintendo Directs always surprise us with something. I'd love to see like a Pikmin 4 or a new Star Fox, or something more out there for Nintendo Punch Out. I'm a big Punch Out fan. I don't know if they'll ever revisit it, but
new Super Mario, anything, Odyssey 2,
right? Exactly.
Like, what are we?
They always
Odyssey
have something
2,
up their sleeve. Like they could just pull out anything, and it will be happy, because their games are just that incredible that they have all these IPs.
Totally. Yeah.
So that wraps up our news for the week. We're gonna go in-game chat where we're just gonna have a conversation with you, PapaGenos, and just talk about like how you be a YouTuber, all your stuff, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. So you want to go first, Kelf? You want to ask him? You want to fire away?
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
so
I've been talking a
this
lot.
is going to be interesting because, again, PapaGenos, he's known for his YouTube channel. He's known for all his leaks and all his rumors and all his speculations, but like no one really knows who PapaGenos is. And I think that this is going to be a great time to like really dive into who he is. And first, I want to just start off with, how did you start? Like, what made you want to do YouTube? Like, what made you just start, hey, you know what, I'm going to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. So it's not a what do I want to say? I don't know exactly where to begin with that question, because it's kind of something I've maybe been turning over in my mind for a long time before it actually happened, and it wasn't totally a decision to be like, all right, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. So
when did the light bulb go in your head, and like when did it snap, and you're just like, okay, I'm doing this?
So
was there a moment?
Kind of. So basically, way back in like Brawl speculation days, which in my opinion was the beginning of Smash speculation, because Smash 64, I think I heard about it in Nintendo Power maybe a month or two before it came out, and there was like those commercials with the guys in the mascot outfits who were hitting each other. So like
classic.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my god, you love that.
But there was like very little hype for Smash 64. It just kind of came out. Yeah. The song I played. And then Smash 64 to Melee was like, it was early internet days. I don't remember too much speculation between that. I don't know if I even knew. I definitely knew Melee was coming out for a little bit before it happened. But again, this was like gaming magazine days more than like internet days. There's probably some early forums. I think I did a little bit of like cafeteria Smash speculation with friends talk, just like anybody would. I kind of remember a picture of ice climbers being online and people thinking it was Eskimo Bob, if you guys remember.
So close yet so far.
Yeah, it was like a flash animation from like super early internet days. And then I don't remember if it was after the game came out or beforehand, but somebody said Roy was in the game, and I remember thinking, oh, the Koopa, they picked one of the Koopalings, they picked Roy. And then that happened. I remember a gaming magazine did a April Fool's joke about Sonic and Tails were unlockable in Melee because they had like two spots that are there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was like the first like Smash fake leak thing or whatever. So whatever, I was into it back then, but it was in the lead up to Brawl that I made a Smashboards account. I wanted 3 characters in the game. I wanted Banjo, I wanted Little Mac, I wanted Gino. And so there's a pizza restaurant called PapaGenos. It's spelled Gino instead of Geno. And I was like, that's funny. I'll make that my screen name. So I made that my screen name on Smashboards and speculated Smash stuff ever since. Always, kept up with it and stuff. I worked at a retro gaming store for like 5 years from like, I want to say like 2012, 13-ish until, I don't know, a little bit before, until 2018, 2017, 2018, somewhere in there.
What was the name of the store, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't like to say what it was because it does still exist. I don't own it.
Where is it located, in the Midwest or East Coast?
No, East Coast. I think
so it's different than what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, if somebody wants to do the research and find it, I don't mind. I just don't want. I know the owner. I don't want to.
Right. No,
whatever.
Because I used to work at a retro game store too.
Okay.
And they had a couple of stores around and stuff like that. So I was just wondering if it was the same store.
We had one that was in Florida, I think, and we had a few on the East Coast. So it was a chain. It was a chain.
Okay.
But it was mainly located about an hour away from here. Is one of the main stores, and they still exist. Anyway, I worked there, and it closed because my mall closed, as so many malls around the country have closed over the last few years.
Right.
Mall life has died to Amazon. That's just a thing. And so with retro game stuff, you have that huge supply of retro games. You either, you can't just like start a new location without having retro games. So it was either like keep it in the mall that we were in that was dying, or move it to a much more affluent city and take all the inventory and move it there. And since you can't just open a store and buy inventory offline, I mean, you can, but generally retro game stores, you want to get that trade-in stuff or whatever. So
right, I get it.
Yeah, so the owner of the store decided to move all the stuff there. So me and one of the other guys who worked at that store, we were going to open up our own retro gaming store. That was like early 2018. We were like, maybe we'll just, it moved out of our town, but maybe we'll open up one on our own. I'm glad. Yeah, it would be awesome. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I was going to sell like my collection of gaming stuff. That was going to be like what we were going to put in the store. And honestly, over the last 2 years, I won't get into all that, but hindsight's 2020. I'm kind of glad I didn't open up a store right before all that stuff happened.
Right.
I don't think it would have lasted. Yeah, exactly. But one of the things that was on my mind, if we did that, because it was one of the things I wanted to do in the retro game store that we had, but I didn't because I wasn't the owner, and I, whatever, just association with the name of the store and everything, was I wanted to kind of do like a video game Pawn Stars, that show Pawn Stars, where like people trade in stuff. I was like, honestly, there's such a gaming culture out there. And I still think this is a good idea for a YouTube channel. So if anybody out there wants to make this YouTube channel, like, go ahead. Like, you can steal this idea. It's totally fine.
Fantastic idea. Fantastic.
Yeah. If you own a retro game store, people trade stuff in, and you can do, maybe you're not filming the customers or whatever, but you can do, hey, today we got crazy stuff traded in all the time. Like, I saw some insane stuff that I would never see. We got Vectrex. We had in-box games, sealed old NES games and stuff would come through, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we get like Pokemon games, and the saves, people didn't get rid of their saves. You can check like, oh, what Pokemon did this person have on their team? Wow. So I thought like it would be so cool to do a YouTube channel where you're like, okay, this week's trade-ins, like the best trade-ins of the week, or let's go through
that would be
Pokemon
really cool.
games. Like, yeah, I had all these cool ideas for it. So if we had opened up that store, I was going to also do a YouTube channel for the store. But I think it would pull in customers potentially if it took off.
With it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'd be great. So that was like my original idea for like a gaming YouTube channel was that. But then that didn't happen, didn't transpire. So shoot ahead till the summer 2018. I think that's what it was when Smash Ultimate. So the Ultimate got like announced with that Splatoon mini teaser, which I think was in the spring 2018, which is when I was thinking about making the store. That fell through. A few months go by. It's the summer. The E3 where everyone is here happens. And I'm on Smash boards all the time, like speculating Smash stuff. So the E3 where everyone is here happens. And I was like, this is amazing. It was like within 2 or 3 days of that, I decided I'm going to do the PapaGenos YouTube channel. And my original idea wasn't like, I'm going to be the guy for Smash speculation. My original idea was I'm on Smash boards. I had this theory about Mock Rider.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, which is it's an old NES game. So I had this theory about, I think it was this action figure that Sakurai, I won't get into the whole theory, but like this action figure Sakurai bought, and he said he used it to model a character.
Yeah.
So I had this cool theory, and I typed it all out and made like a thread. And I was like, what would bump up this thread is if I had a little video explaining it, because I just feel like I'm not the best person in text. I'm much better talking. I feel like I've always, yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's just something about myself.
It's natural too. Yep.
Yeah. I think some people are good in text. I'm not. I don't. My voice doesn't come across in writing. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do a quick video and talk about this theory I have, because I think it's pretty good and I want to get it out there. So I made a video for that, and then after I did that, I was like, well, I'm looking around these other YouTube channels, and I don't really see anybody doing. Like there were channels talking about leaks or rumors or stuff, but not too much, and they were always not to diss any particular channel or anybody who was out there doing it.
Diss them.
Yeah, they were amateurs, man. They were nothing. But I'll put it this way: like I would go on YouTube, and I would have loved to sit down and watched a leak, Smash leaks or Smash speculation stuff. There was a little bit of that, but whenever I watched like character speculation, it was just like, maybe this character would get in. Their moveset could be this. That would be pretty cool. Okay, bye. And that was it. And then I'd go over on the Smash boards where I was used to. I'd been for like a decade, and people were like, oh man, no, you got to follow this guy like Vergeben, or you got to follow this particular leaker, or you got to follow this guy on Game FAQs because he's gotten something right before, or this particular leak, about this Nintendo Direct, this one piece of it came true. So maybe the rest of it. And Smash boards was always, that was what I considered high quality, like talk about what we might actually get. So if you were on Smash boards, you had an idea of what characters were probably coming. If you were just going around YouTube, you didn't. Like you were probably just as in the dark.
People just throwing darts, basically. Just
right. Yeah, exactly. So unless you did the research, unless you were really in that zone, so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to make a couple of videos on the big, leaks that are happening here, because if I already have this one theory about Mock Rider, I'll do a couple other character theory videos, a couple other leak videos, and I don't know, it was within like the first 5 videos or so within that first month, like, so my videos started getting a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, and I must have hit that algorithm. It was probably, I didn't think about it quite like this at the time, but I think it was a channel I wanted to have exist that didn't exist, and I was filling a niche that a lot of people were, a lot of fans were out there for, dreaming for, so I was taking something that did already exist in like a forum form, and I was turning it into a YouTube channel, and it just started, gaining steam. So that's really how it started. So my advice always to people doing YouTube channels is find something you're passionate about, because I think trying to fake passion never works. And then also, if you can find something that you would want to watch that does not exist, if you can make that thing exist, that's the best thing.
Right.
Again, I have that other idea about the retro game store. If someone wants to steal that, feel free. I don't care. Like anybody out there, feel free. Take it.
Put it out there right now, everyone. You're hearing it first. Like, that's an idea for free. Go.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I started on the YouTube channel. It was not exactly like one day I woke up and said, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I want this to work. I want this to happen. It was much more organic and much more by chance a little bit, and sort of just kind of happened. That's the story of that.
First of all, I've been again watching your channel for quite some time, ever since
Thank you.
We basically started the whole journey with Ultimate, right? And it's you were definitely 100% the person to go to with the leaks and speculation, because you're just very detailed. You know exactly what you're talking about, and you lay out the facts.
Thank you.
The facts of what is there, like what's presented in front of you. You know what I mean? And it may not be true. You're kind of going based off like 4chan and stuff like that. Obviously, that's the whole point. But you lay it out in a way where it's just like, okay, well, this is what's out there on the internet. This is what's out there on 4chan. This is what's out there on the Smash forums. This is what I'm presenting to you. But you do it in such a way that's like entertaining. And I was like, oh man, that could be exciting. Like, oh man, that's really cool. Like, just very informative. And I just love that about your channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried to do that. I definitely, in the early days, I think there was a little bit of, I kind of figured out what worked and what didn't work. And I did some things. I think the early days I was more opinionated, and then I kind of tried to reel that back a little bit. It's weird when you're like filming yourself, you don't necessarily catch that you're being opinionated, or that people are only going to see you for like this little 20-minute snippet that you did, and they're not going to talk to you the next day or the next day, so they just hear what you say right there. So some of my early videos, I do feel like I was a little more, not just the facts, but I eventually kind of got more like, okay, yeah, I need to present this as, just the breakdown of why this might happen. And I got to that.
It's hard to do, man. It's hard to do. It's hard to rip yourself away from that. And I was going to, just back up what Kelvin was saying, but like, as far as like your videos go, I know when I see that brand on your thumbnail that says PapaGenos, there's going to be quality behind that. Like,
thank you.
So that I think you have successfully have done that, and you've become almost like a source, right, for the facts for Smash. Yeah. And I think, like I said, Smash is kind of like, on the wayside now, just because it's kind of like coming and gone, and maybe Multiversus could be that new thing. But yeah, man, like kudos to you for doing that, because you became the YouTuber that you wanted to see. Right.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're not flashy. You don't have like these like crazy like you're literally just doing what you're doing right now, and then you pop up a couple like images of like what you're talking about, and it's like it's that like generosity of just like, hey, this is for you guys. Like, I'm giving you the facts here, and
it's just genuine.
You're very genuine. Like, it's just simple, clear cut. Like, I love that. It's simple.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I definitely think, especially when talking about, and I kind of knew this going into it, talking about leaks and theoretical stuff, like there has to be some fact and integrity kind of behind all that. Like, if you lose that, then you, am I making a clickbait video because I just made up something about some character? Am I just going to find, like, I could be going on a forum, make a new account, post something, make a video on it.
Right.
But I cared about finding out who the Smash characters was. It was something I wanted to do, and that was something I wanted to watch, something I was already doing on the Smashboard forums and stuff. You got to kind of have that genuineness to it or whatever, where it falls apart.
100%.
And on the note of like that the channel's not and thank you guys so much for all the kind words, by the way. But on the note of like my editing skills are not that great. Like I see other channels that I am like jealous of, and they can be like smaller subscriber count or whatever, much more unheard of, but they have like very professionally done, very well edited and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel a little bit like, man, do I like I should be better at this stuff or whatever. But sometimes I feel like you have to play to your strengths. So I knew going
100%.
in, like my strength was that I knew this stuff. I knew the leak stuff. And I'm someone who, regardless if I had the channel or not, would be keeping up with it. So that's like, that was my strength. And so I started making the videos with that. I wasn't going to try to do crazy editing job or all this stuff, or make like, oh, I got to make sure it's like this. As I show the image, it's got to pan across it with the video, and the transition's got to be good. And like, I mean, I want it to be watchable, enjoyable to watch. But I knew that, like, okay, if I'm going to spend like, I can either do one or two things. I can make the video tonight and I can get it out there, and then the information's out there immediately, and and I can try to explain it. I had to figure out how to explain all that, or I can spend 2 or 3 days on it, make it look real pretty in video form. But like, there's somebody else that's going to be able to make it much prettier. But they're probably not going to be able to maybe explain it as well. Maybe they're not going to break down the information as well. Maybe they're not going to be able to be on top of it tonight, because they're going to hear about it from some news article that's going to come out 2 days from now when the whole internet's talking about it. But I'm scouring the internet all the time, talking to the right people. So, my strength was that stuff, not the editing stuff. So if you're someone out there and you're good at editing stuff like that, then that's your strength. Play to that,
Do it.
Find what you're good at, why people would maybe watch your channel over another channel, over whatever else is out there, and play to that. So I also think maybe the main thing for all this is just be deliberate and conscious of everything you're doing too. That was something I kind of learned along the way. Just do everything with some purpose and meaning behind it. As long as you're thoughtful about everything, as long as you're thinking about, why did I do it that way? You'll probably get some success at some point, because at some point you're going to do all the things that you thought about. This is the right way to do this. Maybe I should switch that. Now this, whatever it is, and break all that down. And then as long as you're thinking about all of it, giving purpose to all of it, it'll probably come into place eventually.
Yeah. And the niche you picked, for the most part, Super Smash, at least when you started, right, originally, is, I don't know, but that fan base can get pretty toxic.
Extremely.
Right.
Yep.
Especially when you get into the big leagues, right? Can you like tell us about like some of the comments you would get? Was there anything that like was crazy to you? Any story that you could think of, like off a video that you're just like, you said something, someone was like, no, or like started a whole revolution of like comments? I'm interested to hear that.
Definitely. Definitely. I will say, for the most part, I went into the Smash speculation scene knowing that it was probably going to be pretty toxic. That talking about leaks and stuff, that Smash leaks are like, half the people are trying to trick everybody on the internet into getting their hopes up to be sad about it. Like, that's a pretty toxic person that I know I'm going to have to be kind of
engaging with.
Right,
engaging with.
Away from that, right?
Yeah, maybe not directly engage with that person, but I'm going to be in that ballpark of these fake leaks and all this stuff. And I already knew about all of that. I knew, how it all goes. So yeah, I definitely had to have some thick skin to get into all that. Though I will say, for the most part, I had a decently pleasant experience with the Smash community, all things said. Like, on my own comments and stuff, most of the time when I'm on the internet somewhere as PapaGenos and see people, generally it's pretty positive. I don't have too much negativity, which I'm very grateful for, because
that's great.
It's out there. I do know there are some I have seen on some forums, on some places I've seen like my picture posted, or, oh, I hate that beeping guy's fake clickbait, blah blah blah. I've seen all that. It comes with being a YouTuber or anything, whatever, and especially talking about that stuff. As far as a particular moment, I mean, probably my most controversial thing that happened was the Byleth announcement thing. If you guys are semi-aware of what happened with that, basically Byleth came out for Smash and got revealed, and we mentioned it a little bit earlier in this podcast. Just Fire Emblem and Smash fans have a heated history. To some extent. Basically the concept is just that out of the Smash roster, we have quite a lot of Fire Emblem characters, and is Fire Emblem really a game that should have a large chunk of the roster, considering how many characters people want to see in Smash. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And there's some more specific stuff to it about like when we got Fire Emblem characters, how many we've gotten. I think at the time when Byleth was announced, for instance, out of all the DLC characters we'd ever gotten for Smash, I'm talking Smash 4, Smash Ultimate, as far as first-party Nintendo characters go, when Byleth came out, we had only 3 first-party Nintendo characters, and they were Piranha Plant, Corrin, a Fire Emblem character, and Byleth, a Fire Emblem character. So it's for everybody out there who wants Dixie Kong and Waluigi, and at the time wanted stuff like Pyron Mithra or an Arms Rep or something. Like, we had 2 Fire Emblem and kind of a joke character, and that was it for. So anyway, so basically what happened, they announced Byleth. It was the end of the first Fighters Pass, so it sort of felt like it was the final character, maybe at one time meant to be the final character. In retrospect, I think they probably shifted things around in the past too, but that's just speculative. But anyway, it was the final character here. We'd sort of been set up that the Fighter Pass was going to be all third party. I don't think they directly said that, but Reggie had said something like, I forget his exact wording. It was going to be characters you wouldn't expect, which made you kind of think it's not Nintendo characters. And the last 4 of that Fighter Pass,
right? Exactly, it was consistent.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So at that point, it was like, well, they're not going to end on some a first party character, and especially not from the series that everybody kind of got mad at Corrin. And Sakurai even said something about getting mad at Corrin. So whatever. Byleth came out. People were generally not. I won't say everybody. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody. It's a huge generalization, but the majority of people, I think, if you took a fan poll or looked at the like-dislike ratio of the Byleth video, whatever, the general consensus was not as pleasant as the other Smash characters. So that day, this is another thing about starting a YouTube channel, not to get into a bunch of segues here, but
let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah,
we got time.
Sweet. Awesome. So back then I had a laptop computer. I had to get a USB like splitter thing to be able to have a microphone and a camera and my mouse all hooked up to the computer at the same time. And I was doing it out of, I only like, now I have an apartment to myself, but at the time I was living back home, just in my bedroom. I was just there. So this was after college, before getting my own apartment. So my greater point about YouTube channel beginning stuff is just one thing that also kind of held me back to starting a YouTube channel ever was like, I don't have all the equipment. I don't have a nice gaming chair and the L desk and the 2 screens and the background. Yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't really have, I have a lot of stuff, but I was kind of, I don't know if it's the right time to start it. So my advice to anybody out there is just start it. Just start making stuff.
Just do it. Just make content, and who cares?
Start making content, and if it takes a year to get your setup and your videos where you want them to be, fine. But it's better to just start and trial and error, just keep going. But anyway, so I started with that. So back then I only had that, and to do live streaming stuff back then, this was so like jerry rigged, ghetto, duct taped together. It was ridiculous. I would take my Wii U, because I didn't have 2 screens. I didn't have 2
console. Oh god,
it was ridiculous. So I had my laptop. I didn't have 2 screens. I didn't have 2 monitor screens. I just had a laptop screen. So I would take the Wii U. I'd plug it into a television. Because the Wii U, like if I try to do it with like a PS4, if I try to play YouTube on the PS4, it like doesn't let you have like OBS running at the same time, because it like detects that you're trying to record.
Okay.
It's still like, I think you can't watch like Netflix and record it, basically, like stuff like that.
Right.
But for whatever reason, the Wii U didn't stop me from running YouTube. Wii U worked.
Out of all the consoles, Wii U,
all the consoles, that I could play YouTube on. That was the one that worked. So in order to have 2 screens, I'd have a television screen, Wii U hooked into my computer, OBS running. That was the I'd watch the thing on YouTube on the Wii U. I'd record myself in the camera. It was so,
that's so ridiculous.
It was crazy. And this is when, like my channel was doing good, and that's how I was running everything. Like, so yeah. So Byleth happens that day, that morning or whatever. I'm trying to set all that up. It's not working. I think Byleth is the only character I didn't get like a live stream going for. And it was because I was still doing all that. So I had no live stream happening for Byleth. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just record myself and I'll put up a reaction video afterwards. So camera's on me, just recording my own computer screen, whatever. and watching it, not really talking like I normally do because usually I'm doing it live, so there's people in chat or I'm just very aware that I'm live. Byleth comes out, I'm watching it, generally disappointed, and then I like pull up my phone, I'm looking at like, okay, what are people saying about this? I'm going onto my Discord, going around Twitter or whatever, and basically I've completely forgotten that I'm being filmed. So it ends, and then I'm like, okay, I'm like, oh crap. Like, I got to do a reaction video. So my reaction video to Byleth is just me silent pretty much the whole time. I might have said something right at the start, but like,
God.
Yeah, so it's like a nothing reaction video. So
yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I'm talking in Discord, talking whatever, chat, stuff like that. So the whole day goes by, and the internet is generally extremely negative to Byleth. And I'm pretty negative to Byleth. Like, I'm not trying to say that
I think everyone is, for the most part, negative to Byleth. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people who wanted Byleth in Smash, but, whatever. They're few and far between for sure. And I do warm up to characters once they're in Smash, too. Like, I don't hate these characters. I don't want to, get anybody the wrong opinion here. One of the reasons
Steve
I kind of...
Just take him out.
No, people love that guy, man. People love that guy. Don't take him out because they'll be a freaking...
Yeah.
People will be pissed. Yeah, I think I started something just by saying that. But
once something's in Smash, though, I tend to warm up to it. I think I've explained it this way. Excuse me. Once something's in Smash, that character is now in one of my favorite games. So
fair.
I tend to get a relationship or a whatever respect with that character.
Yeah.
Through Smash, I get respect. I get something because they're in Smash. Like Incineroar wasn't really my favorite Pokemon at all. Didn't really care about him, but when he's in Smash, like that's probably my bet. That's my favorite like iteration of him, and I like the way they portrayed him. And now, I would say I'm somewhat of an Incineroar fan as far as Pokemon go. Like he's pretty cool. So same thing goes for Byleth and a lot of the Fire Emblem characters. But before they get in, I'm kind of like, well, I want the characters I already like to get in Smash to round out the roster and make it stuff I really like and be that celebration of gaming and stuff. So anyway, I filmed that video. It's not that good. And I'm like, oh man, I got nothing really to upload here. So I was like, all right, well, why don't I do this? I'll just go super angry because everybody's online is super angry. And all the stuff I've been hearing all day, all the best little quips and best little stuff, I'll try to just say all that, to the Byleth reveal. So I do that as a video. So it's basically me angry reacting. And this wasn't super well thought out either. It was kind of like that morning, I don't have anything to put up. Spend the rest of the day reading about Byleth stuff, pretty disappointed. I'm like, I come up with this idea. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I had no necessary intention to be like, oh, this was fake or something. Like I wasn't intending to ever do that. I was just kind of like, I'm just going to do this. I wouldn't necessarily say I was trying to just like trick everybody into it. Like, I don't know. Again, it wasn't well thought out. I was kind of just like, this is fine. And this is fairly early on. I mean, the YouTube channel is a little over a year old at that point. And I hadn't really had any, we've had some leaks not happen, which gave me a little bit of people angry, but I was pretty clear about who knows. This was like the first thing that once I put this out, people not generally didn't like it, but it was very divisive. I had people on both sides for this because, and I get it now. Like I was basically saying like, Sakurai sucks for putting this guy in the game. And like, I didn't really mean Sakurai sucks for putting this guy in the game, but I was ranting about it, and part of it was letting off some steam because of the day, but part of it was just trying to make an entertaining video because I had nothing. So I put that out. People aren't happy with it. Or it's kind of 50-50 to be perfectly honest. So I sit with that for a few days and then I'm like, all right, well, I got to probably come out and say like, I think the biggest thing was that I think people thought that was because I put it out as a reaction video. People thought that was my reaction, as if I'm a ticking time bomb hostile person where like if something like that happens, I'm going to be like fuming and yelling and freaking out or whatever. So what I did a few days later, I was like, hey, I got to tell everybody like that was fake. Like if people put out fake leaks all the time, well, I put out a fake reaction, which again, I wasn't necessarily thinking I was going to announce it as a fake reaction. Like I didn't know. I didn't think
so weird how things pan out like the way that you would have never thought of in your brain that it would come out that way. But here you are coming up with like, hey, that actually wasn't like that wasn't good not idea. Real. Yeah, that wasn't real. Like what's
I had to say it wasn't real, and it probably wasn't my best idea. Because that's not how I thought about it when I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like everybody seems angry online, and I have nothing of a reaction. I literally can't really upload my reaction video because my head's down like this for like half of it. Like, so I'm like, okay, so I gotta do something. So yeah, and then it comes out like that. So then I'm like, okay, well, I can prove I faked this because when I filmed it, I filmed like takes essentially. Like I was, I went once and I was like, all right, no, I don't like that beginning. When it was, I just did a bunch until I had that beginning that I liked. That would then I just rant for the rest of the video.
Right.
Keep it going. So I just kind of showed like 2 attempts at it before the one I liked. And obviously the way like everything in the room is exactly the same. My hair is exactly, you can tell it's the same video. It's the exact same video that was the reaction video or whatever. So I put that out there and that tended to quell everybody. But then from then on, I've been much more careful about, and I think it's just 2 things I sort of touched upon already. Have purpose to everything you're doing. That I didn't have purpose to. That was me feeling like I was backed into a corner and needed to have a reaction video and kind of coming up with something, but not thinking it through. And then the other thing being that I touched upon briefly, when you do this sort of thing, the you that the internet sees isn't the you that you are all the time. Not that you're a different person,
right?
But they're getting 20 minutes of you here and 20 minutes
like a sliver of you, just a
sliver of you. Yeah. If they watch one video, that's you. That's who they think you are. If they watch even a few videos of yours, they're still they don't see you when you're they don't see me when I'm interacting with my family. They don't know what I'm like in public. They don't know what I'm like at work with friends. Like, they see Smash speculation me and whatever I've put out there. So, and that's something I don't think a lot of people are conscious of when they put themselves out there on YouTube or anywhere else. Right. That's all you get. So if you do an angry reaction video and you have at that point like 4 reaction videos from me and one of them is extremely hostile, it's like, oh, this guy. Nah, he's
he's hostile. I can't watch videos. Like,
exactly. So that was probably my biggest misstep. That probably got me the most negative reaction. I have had, like I said, some people on forums and stuff. I've seen posts about myself places, more so back in the Smash days, especially the earlier stuff. I think after a while, enough things that I was talking about did pan out, or enough things or maybe exclusive to me did pan out, where it's like, okay, he's not bullshitting everybody. He's not, whatever. Like he's just into this stuff. And that probably helped, I think, over time. But especially in the early days, the Grinch League stuff was also because it didn't pan out. But I think over time, I talked about how someone from Microsoft had told me about Banjo was happening for sure. And that did pan out eventually. So that was like, 100%. I'm not just saying that to get you to believe the Grinch League for whatever reason. That was just true information that was told to me, and it maybe made the Grinch League real. So over time, I think things smoothed over for the most part. But the Violet thing was probably the biggest misstep. But
the Grinch Link, man, the Grinch Link was probably like, that was a wild ride. Let me tell you, crazy. Man. I was like, what the hell, dude? That was part of like the whole Mac Riders speculation.
Yep, that was on there too. Yep. Mac Rider was on there.
Yep, but it was fun, man. Like, I honestly love the Grinch Link. I had a good time. I was like speculating, like Banjo. Like we ended up getting Banjo. Like we were just so many great characters. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome.
It just sounds like a fun ride to go on. That whole thing.
I have no hard feelings about the Grinch League. It was fun.
It was fantastic.
That's the other thing about me. Like, I like Smash speculation as in trying to figure out the characters, but also since I've been on like Smash boards and doing that stuff since like it was like 2006, 2007 or whatever. Like, I actually like Smash speculation, like something called like to have when I see the Grinch now and I think of Smash speculation, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's great, dude. It was so great.
The fake Rayman leak that happened for Smash 4, like all that stuff like that. Those are moments to me that I enjoy. Like I like that whole culture, whatever it is. So yeah, the Grinch League has a special place in my heart. And if it didn't happen, like the person that did hear about Banjo probably wouldn't have come to me and been like, hey, this might be real because Banjo is happening. Like, so, that it opened up some doors. It definitely got a lot of eyes on my channel right beforehand. So that was cool.
100%.
So yeah, I'm happy with it. It was fun. It was a fun ride. It didn't pan out in the end, but it's weird. We got like Ken and Banjo. So a little bit of it panned out.
Right. Sure. Yeah, it did pan out a little bit, but going back to like the overall fan base that you've created, like the just the culture in your channel, I think it's very rare to see generally, like you were saying, positive energy throughout your whole channel. Like I've again following you for quite some time, and I read the comments all the time, and like you said, most of them are positive things. Everyone enjoys watching your videos. Everyone just enjoys just talking to you and just watching your videos. So, and I've noticed like your Discord, like you have a huge fan base on Discord. So how was it that you were able, or this just come like natural, like where it just kind of like you just got this fan base all of a sudden? But how did this come about where you just started getting these people that truly were invested in your channel and in your videos?
Yeah, how'd you build this community?
Yeah, the community building are just the people that watch the videos. I would say it's all pretty much organically happened. I mean, I have to give credit to the people who like the mods and admins over on the Discord definitely helped make that a safe, fun place to, speculate and talk about stuff. As far as just the people who in, the YouTube videos commenting and stuff like that. I never really, I didn't try to cultivate a certain community. I think I probably talked about Smash speculation in a way that maybe it hadn't been talked about before, which is a little bit of what I was just saying, where like,
Made it safe. Safe to talk about.
Yeah, 100%.
It's safe to talk about. There's a lot of toxicness. A lot of it happens on 4chan, game FAQs, places that are more anonymous, more, people just, again, throwing stuff at each other or whatever. So this was definitely a safer place to talk about that stuff than a lot of other places. I was trying to kind of mirror Smashboard's version of Smash speculation, which was usually higher caliber and more friendly in general. I feel like because that's where I was doing it from mostly. So yeah, that just happened organically. I think it's cool to see that the fans that I've gotten are generally pretty positive, especially for YouTube comment sections are usually extremely toxic. Smash speculation stuff is usually extremely toxic. So I don't know exactly how it ended up being positive. I think it's more just a product of being enthusiastic and positive for the most part in my videos about Smash stuff, talking about all that leak stuff, but in, I don't know, a less toxic way than a lot of the other, leak stuff usually gets talked about and stuff. So I think just doing that just organically built that. So yeah, it wasn't, nice. I wouldn't say it wasn't intended, but it wasn't exactly intended. It wasn't,
it wasn't like a plan in place. It just kind of happened.
It happened.
It just kind of happened. But if I could plan it, that's how I would have wanted it to happen. But yeah,
100%, dude.
Yeah, it just all built upon itself.
You call it a byproduct, right?
A byproduct. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, we kind of struggle with that a little bit here at the Gaming Duo podcast because we want to build a community. We want to build like this place where it's safe for people to talk to us about games and just discuss what's happening in the gaming industry. And it's nice to see someone just kind of have that natural like gravitation towards you, like just to be like, hey man, like I want to see your videos, I want to talk to you about stuff. Like they praise when they see like a video pop up from you. Like it's nice to see that because it's like, especially like you said, like YouTube channels in general, they just have a toxic community, and then Smash Brothers or Smash in general, it just has like this toxic community. So you're able to just kind of like squash that and just be like, hey man, like that, you don't have to have that. You could just have a friendly conversation with me. We can just talk about what we love to talk about.
Here you go.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know exactly how that came out of everything because there have been some toxic times in Smash speculation that were like unavoidable-ish, just what we're talking about. Like, or for instance, like, okay, the Grinch League doesn't happen. Like, is my comment section just going to get flamed with, you were wrong about it? And it did a little bit, but I think you just have to kind of have some thick skin in those moments.
Sure, take it on the chin, man.
Take it, how it is. And keep going forward, stay positive, and the rest will kind of just filter itself over time. Because you're going to have moments that are just going to hit with, I don't say like controversial moments or whatever, but you're going to have moments that aren't going, they're going to be less positive than others or whatever, negative.
Sure.
So you just got to kind of try to stay positive through those and move on to the next thing. And but yeah, somehow it has, at least at this point, I think it's a good community. So it's cool.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much for like just that insight into your world. Like I feel like I got just everything from that as far as like the way you build the community. You can see it, like you care so much about what you do, and it shows by just this conversation.
I will say one other thing just about the community, because so when I made the Discord, like I had no idea how to like do a Discord, and I still kind of don't really know that much about Discord. I had a friend help me set it up, and I had like, I let the Discord run itself. I like told like, figure out who the admins are, figure out who the mods are. Those people took it over. They run it and everything. They run it however they want. I let them just do what they want. Part of that was just that I barely have the time to do the YouTube channel, let alone run like a constant chat room thing. So part of it was that, but so tons of credit to those guys for creating that community, which I think was also a little bit kind of the same way I made the YouTube channel. It was something I wanted, so it happened. When I was making a YouTube channel, people said, you should make a Discord, you should make a Discord, you should make a Discord. So I made one. People enjoyed it. That was a place to talk speculation. And that happened again organically. And that was other people who I let just say, you can use, my name, my channel, whatever is the link to get here and everything. But you guys make the channel however you want it to be, because I don't really know that much about Discord. I didn't at the time. So credit to them for doing the same thing I did with the YouTube channel with the Discord channel,
Just
making
Discord.
it positive and good and everything, because that was the type of speculation and stuff they wanted to chat about in that Discord. And that Discord is much bigger than Smash speculation now too. It's kind of everything gaming.
It's like overall, especially with Nintendo All Stars, especially with Multiversus later. That's kind of like all incorporated into your Discord as well now.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you for spending the time to take us into your world. But we do have one more thing for you before you head out, right?
Sure.
And it's a small segment here called Would You Rather. So we're just going to ask you a series of questions, gaming related.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot off the first one.
Do it.
Go for it.
If you could only choose one game, the rest cease to exist. Yeah, choose wisely, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario 64, or Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
So one game for that's the only game.
You said you have to pick one game. It gets saved. The rest gets sacrificed. And they don't exist.
They don't exist. I Smash Ultimate then in that.
Wow,
good choice.
That was easy. That was quick.
Yeah, okay. I like Mario RPG a lot. Obviously, I want Geno and stuff, but Smash Ultimate incorporates so many games and stuff in it. It's way more, I feel like, playable for a long time. Mario 64 is revolutionary, but at this point, I've played it a lot. And I think there's other games that have maybe surpassed other Mario games at this point. Majora's Mask, actually, Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda, not Majora's Mask, even if I had 64 Zeldas. So that one wasn't too hard to knock that one out.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
I give my reasoning. I don't know if I have to give my reasoning every time. I don't give my reasoning.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Next one here. This is a good question. Well, who would you rather have as your wingman? Mario, Luigi, or Wario?
Like dating wingman?
Just in general, just like,
or just my buddy, like
just
my
your
guy.
boy,
yeah.
Who's the what's it called?
Who's
Maverick.
the homie?
Yeah, who's your Goose to your Maverick? Yeah.
All right, gotcha. Goose to my Maverick. All right, there you go. Top Gun reference. I feel like Luigi'd be the most fun to hang out with, but I feel like if I'm going to go on like an adventure, like Wario is going to get me into some stuff. Like Wario is going to be
like
crazy.
in a good way, or like do you think like he'd be the most fun? I think he'd be the most fun pick.
Yeah, so I feel like Mario's
going to get you in trouble.
Yeah, it's between Luigi and Wario. I feel like Mario's just Mario. Like he'll just outshine me every time or something else.
Yeah.
But like Luigi feels like he'd be like goofy fun to be around, but low key. Like it's gonna be like chill.
Right.
That's like if I'm hanging out at my house. I feel like if I'm going out somewhere to do anything, mattering to how I feel. Like I'm definitely pretty bipolar when it comes to like introvert extrovert. Like sometimes, I'm feeling extrovert. Sometimes I'm feeling introverted. I feel like if I'm feeling like going on an adventure, Wario is going to be the most fun to do that. But
I feel like he's going to get you arrested, honestly.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, exactly. Like it's going to be fun.
But he also might he might somehow get you out of it.
That too. Yeah. It might be like crazy. Like we're getting arrested and then he's like, don't worry, I've called in the airships with all my money. Yeah.
Right. While Luigi's coming to bail us hours over there.
Yeah, something like it's going to be a night. Like it's going to be crazy. So I feel like it's what I've been in the mood for, but I'll go with Luigi just to be on the safer side.
Safe choice. That's a good choice. Yeah. Luigi's the homie.
Yeah.
Last one. Would you rather have Geno in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, but Challenger Pack 2 never gets released?
Ooh.
This is
man.
your one of your favorite characters that you want in Smash Brothers. You have the opportunity to bring them into Smash. Will you sacrifice Challenger
These
Pack
5
2?
other characters.
I sacrifice. Let me just lay it out. Min, Steve, Sephiroth, Paramithra, Kazuya,
and Sora.
Whew. I know people are going to be mad at me, but I would choose Geno. For me, I want Geno because if Smash Ultimate had happened and
that's amazing.
Well, you gave him
just Thanos.
Literally just
step him out. Because if Smash Ultimate had happened and the first Fighter Pass happened, I got Banjo, and then we were getting to the end, and it was like, no, there's not Fighter Pass 2, there's just one more bonus character, and that ended up being Geno. Like that would have been kind of my personally like perfect Smash Ultimate because I would have gotten Banjo, and then it would have ended on this big Geno moment. As far as like the whole game goes, it's probably better. We got Fighter Pass 2, and we got Minecraft, one of the like biggest games in the world. Sephiroth brought in all the Final Fantasy 7 music and stuff. For my I know you don't like Steve, huh?
I could do without him.
He's not my. I'm glad we got Banjo first. I'll put it that way.
Right.
If we got Steve first, I probably would have been pissed. Like I would have been like, we got Banjo. And I'm not like ARMS, Xenoblade, whatever. I'm fine with that. Tekken, I feel like does deserve to be in Smash. I've been waiting for that for a long time. I mean, Namco works on Smash. It was always weird. We only had Pac-Man.
Right.
And then Sora is huge ballot winner. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan too. Like I said towards the beginning of this, like I'm happy Sora got in. Some people are like, "Oh man, you must be so mad that Geno didn't get in, but Sora did." I'm like, I mean, in the perfect world, I wanted them both in. Like I wasn't one or the other. So yeah, but you know, if it's my own thing, like I said, I think my dream scenario would have been that first Fighter Pass and then bonus characters. Geno, I would have been on top of the world. So.
Damn.
Sorry.
All right. Well,
sorry, everybody else in the entire world who's not happy with my decision.
Listen, this was your question, and you answered it, and we can't be mad. But that just goes to show you how much you love Geno. So
it's true.
True fan of that guy.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining and listening, and thank you again, PapaGenos, for joining our podcast, dude. Like this was awesome.
Thank you guys for inviting me on. If you ever want to do it again sometime, just let me know. So this was great.
Absolutely. I'm still like trying to like pick like stuff out of your background. I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is the whole episode? I'm just trying to.
So I got this is a giant shelf of Nintendo powers, which if I pushed it back more, you could see it's like a little kid's book shelf thing on wheels that's double-sided, and I'm missing like 20 Nintendo powers. It's almost all of them. And the 20 like random middle ones.
You used to have them back in your old setup, right? Back in your old room, you had them kind of like all laid out, I think.
I might have had more like laid out. What I used to do was what I need to do is I want to get a another shelf that goes like right here, and I want to make it like this height so I can put stuff on it that are related to the topics. That's what I used to do in my early videos.
Yeah, I remember.
Great idea.
Yeah, it's just now I do have the L desk and the 2 screens and all that stuff. And one sacrifice from that is that I don't really have a good spot to put
things in the background.
But I have a huge collection of. I mean, if I move my camera here, let me see if this. I mean, there's like a ton of stuff.
Oh my goodness!
Stuff, but there's even more stuff over there. So, I mean, I can't really do that so much anymore as I used to do. But that was something I could do in the more less ideal living situation for filming stuff. That was actually a perk of it. So, yeah,
cool, nice. Very, very cool. Well, again. This was episode 87 of the Gaming Duo podcast featuring our special guest, PapaGenos. Please go ahead and visit his YouTube channel. Just type in PapaGenos for any of speculation videos. Visit all of his old Smash stuff. I'm sure when the new Smash game gets released, you're gonna be there.
Right there.
Like you're right there. Multiversus is what he's hitting right now. He just actually has a reaction video to the Pokemon trailer, so go ahead and watch that. I'm going to go ahead and post all of your socials in there. So your Instagram, the Discord, all that stuff. And again, thank you again, Kelv. Anything else before we go?
No, I think we covered everything. Just, guys, make sure to subscribe and follow us on social media and on your favorite podcast service.
And leave us a 5-star review, please. Appreciate that. 5. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Everybody,
See you
thanks
guys.
for having me on, guys.